Divine Comprehension, a dimensional journey begins in Douluo. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 126 The delicious taste of instant noodles in the past. As long as Yingji can be resurrected, and with the help of the modern herrschers, surviving the collapse has become inevitable. Then, these memories can naturally put down their burdens. In this case, if Wu Tong invites them, they will most likely not refuse without a goal. Besides, if you follow me, you can live the life you want. Hearing this, the Yingji present looked at each other and saw each other's heartbeat. After a brief eye contact, Mobius, as the representative of Yingji, spoke. It's okay to follow you, but it must be after you revive Yingji, and we still need a few days to arrange the funeral. The others didn't say anything when they heard what Mobius said. This was originally discussed by everyone. After living together for such a long time, they already knew each other as well as they could. The moment they exchanged eyes just now, they had already discussed it. If Yingji is really resurrected, then what if these memories follow him away? Anyway, with the help of the dimensional chat group, it has become inevitable for this world to survive the collapse. If that's the case, then can't these memories who have been busy for tens of thousands of years take a break? I've worked so hard for so long, can't I enjoy myself? JPG, following Wu Tong is also a good choice. The current world no longer belongs to them. It might be better to live in another world. And with Wu Tong's promise, they can all live the life they once dreamed of. Because of this, everyone agreed to leave with Wu Tong. Okay, it's a deal. Wu Tong heard what Mobius said, and a bright smile instantly hung on his face. In the presence of everyone, Wu Tong and Yingji reached an agreement. After everyone saw that Wu Tong and Yingji reached an agreement, the atmosphere at the scene began to become harmonious. Ying pulled Ling aside and told her about the pain of separation. Seeing this, others did not come forward to disturb her. Alicia held the Jizo Yuhan, ignoring the little guy's struggle, while torturing the little guy's face, while discussing with Eden where to go after resurrection. Hua found Fuhua and Zioshi, and the three beautiful girls with the same appearance found a corner and started to communicate. Jinji still stared at Apanaya, but under the influence of the precepts, he could only be furious. The great magician of Weiwei began to show his desire to perform, and caught Paddle who was going to buy goods from other Yingji's house while everyone was in the hall. He performed a Weiwei-style magic on the spot. Kevin sat aside, watching all this, and the corners of his mouth rose up a pixel unconsciously. Sue on the side keenly noticed Kevin's emotions, opened his squinting eyes, looked at Kevin, and then his mouth corners also rose slightly. And little Grey Xiu, under the protection of Cosmo, drew all this into the painting. In that painting, everyone was smiling happily. For a while, the paradise of the past was peaceful. After reaching an agreement with Wu Tong, Mobius was ready to leave. Before leaving, the snake's eyes gradually moved to behind Wu Tong. There, two little quails were shivering. Danzhu, Kangxuan, what are you doing? Danzhu and Kangxuan, who were trying to hide their figures, froze up and looked at each other, and saw each other's dead-looking faces. Dr. Mobius there was no suspense. Danzhu and Kangxuan were directly pulled away by Mobius, no words all night. The next day, I woke up from the big bed in the room of the paradise of the past. After Wu Tong got dressed and washed up, he walked out of the room and prepared to go to the hall. Stare unexpectedly, as soon as he entered the hall, he was stared at by a cold gaze. Wu Tong felt the gaze, paused, and turned his head to look. Kevin was sitting on the sofa in the hall, staring at him. Alice, as expected, this kind of gaze that seemed to freeze the air, except Kevin, there was no one else. It was still early, and everyone else was resting or busy with their own things. There was no third person in the hall except Kevin and Wu Tong. Wu Tong looked at Kevin and didn't know what to say. After all, he really didn't know how to communicate with an ice cube like Kevin. After a long silence, Wu Tong felt that he couldn't just stare at each other like this anymore. Wu Tong looked at Kevin, who had a cold face in front of him, and really didn't know how to start. He hesitated for a long time. Do you want to eat instant noodles? Then, the food-making technique was activated, and a bucket of instant noodles suddenly appeared in his hand. Instant noodles from the past life? Taste of braised pork ribs. Kevin looked at the instant noodles in Wu Tong's hand and hesitated for a while. Then he reached out and took Wu Tong's instant noodles, opened it and started brewing, waiting for 10 minutes for instant noodles. Just like that, a strange scene appeared in the paradise of the past life. Kevin and Wu Tong squatted together eating instant noodles, but there was no communication between them. Not long after. It smells so good, Kevin, what are you eating? Alicia, who came here after smelling the smell, looked at the two people squatting together in the hall eating something. Looking at the two people like this, she first laughed, and then asked, instant noodles, do you want some? Kevin saw Alicia staring at him straight, and after a moment of silence, he raised the instant noodles in his hand and asked Alicia, wow, what kind of instant noodles is this? It smells so good, why haven't I seen this kind of instant noodles before? Forget it, give me one too, I haven't eaten yet this morning, I'm so hungry. The beautiful girl decided to try something new, so the two people squatting on the ground eating instant noodles became three. Hey, what a good smell, where's it coming from? It seems to be in the hall, then let's go and take a look. Well, okay. Hearing the familiar voice, the three people squatting on the ground eating instant noodles looked at each other, and suddenly felt that this scene was a bit familiar. After a while, everyone was attracted by the fragrance. A group of people gathered around Wu Tong's gourmet tablecloth in the living room, eating and chatting. Yeah, this gourmet tablecloth is really convenient, I want one too. Alicia's mouth was full of oil. Eden, who was standing by, saw this and reached out to wipe Alicia's mouth, making her look like the flawless girl again. Chapter 127, Resurrect the Heroes, Gather all 13. When Moebius heard this, he immediately opened his mouth and offered his own ridicule. Aren't you afraid of getting fat? Eating so much, a beautiful girl won't get fat, Dr. Moebius? Hearing Moebius's ridicule, Alicia gave her a bright smile. Yes, you won't get fat, you'll just be 55 kilograms forever. Nonsense, it's clearly 54.8 kilograms. Hearing Moebius' words, Miss Alicia was a little angry, and her real weight was revealed unconsciously. After reacting, her eyes widened instantly, and she quickly covered her mouth, trying to cover her ears and steal the bell. Oh, it turned out to be 54.8 kilograms, how cunning. Dr. Moebius, looking at Moebius's slow and leisurely appearance, Alicia's face bulged up, like an angry pufferfish. It looked very cute. When the others heard this, they also laughed. Isn't this kind of life what they dream of? On the side, Kiana was making a wish to the gourmet tablecloth. She was mumbling, twisting her body, and like a shaman, she put her hands together and prayed to the gourmet tablecloth. Heaven and earth, please help me, oh, the almighty gourmet tablecloth. Please give me a bowl of Mii-flavored beautiful girl instant noodles. Kiana, what nonsense are you talking about? How can there be such a thing? Before she finished her words, a bucket of instant noodles printed with Mii's image instantly appeared on the gourmet tablecloth. Mii's words stopped abruptly, as if she was choked. Yeah, there really is. Then I also want a bowl of Mii-flavored instant noodles. Seeing this, the pink fairy lady's eyes lit up, and she imitated Kiana, put her hands together, and prayed to the gourmet tablecloth. No, I won't agree. Mii is mine. No, Alicia. Hearing Alicia's words, Kiana started to make a fuss. Mii was also ready to speak to stop it. In the end, the instant noodles with maize flavor summoned by Alicia went into Kiana's stomach. May was blushing, steam was coming out of her head, and she looked like she was about to faint. The dividing line of mealtime. After a feast, everyone sat in the hall after eating and drinking. Wu Tong, are you going to revive another me today? Alicia rested for a while, recovered, and looked at Wu Tong expectantly. Everyone on the side was naturally looking forward to it, but after hearing Alicia's words, their expressions became very strange. Yes, why didn't I think of two Alicias yesterday? Oh my god. Spare us. One Alicia is hard enough to deal with, and another one is coming soon. Hearing this, everyone's eyes went dark. But they didn't stop it. After all, this is something they will have to face sooner or later, and they can't avoid it at all. Well, we can start now. It's not difficult for me to revive them. Wu Tong nodded and responded to Alicia's expectations. Yeah, great, let's start right away. I really want to see another me now. Hearing Wu Tong's words, Alicia was excited and begged Wu Tong. Okay, after agreeing, Wu Tong did not hesitate. The dimensional portal opened instantly and linked to night 50,000 years ago when the 13 heroes were alive. Wu Tong reached in and plucked the hair from the head of the sleeping 13 heroes. After taking his hand back, 13 hairs of various colors appeared in Wu Tong's hand. Looking at the white, red, pink, black, blue and other colors of hair in front of him, Wu Tong couldn't help but complain. Fortunately, this is a two-dimensional world. If it were in the world of the previous life, these guys would definitely be regarded as bad boys when they go out. After getting the things, Wu Tong did not hesitate. He took out the resurrection coins he made and threw them on the 13 hairs. Wow, in an instant, 10 beams of light rose up, and in them, the dead were returning. And only 3 hairs were left in the original place without any movement. Wu Tong looked at the 3 motionless hairs in confusion, and suddenly thought of something. He fell silent. Yes, Kevin, Fu Hua and Grace are still alive. How could I forget this? It must be the title of the 13 heroes of chasing fire. It makes people feel that 13 people have died. Looking at the 3 motionless resurrection coins, Wu Tong touched his chin and thought about it. Then he opened the dimension door again, plucked the hair of Dr. May, Klein and Einstein again, and threw them up. The Einstein of the previous civilization is a combination of Einstein and Tesla, and is the designer of the armed puppets, a genius scientist. If I resurrect these 3 guys, I can bring myself the greatest benefit. May and Einstein are both top scientists that I need, and May and Klein can also be used to improve the favorability of Kevin and Mebius. In general, it's not a loss. 3 beams of light rose up. Seeing this scene, Wu Tong nodded with satisfaction. It's enough. 13. That's more appropriate. I said I would revive 13 people, so I will definitely revive 13. As for those who want to be resurrected, let those who want them to be resurrected make contributions. On the side, everyone who watched Wu Tong's outrageous operation was silent. Old Antique, that short blue hair is your hair, right? Zioshi looked at one of the 3 hairs that did not respond, poked Fu Hua on the side, and whispered. Have you thought of anything? No. Fu Hua looked at Zioshi's restless little hand, and pulled her hand away with a black face. Then she explained, although the hair is mine, the hair that Wu Tong took out was obviously cut on the middle, and there was only 1 strand. In other words, this hair might have been lost by me without knowing it, and why do you think that after 50,000 years, and with Yuduchin deleting his memory from time to time, I can still remember such a trivial matter? Tisk, boring. After hearing Fu Hua's explanation, Zioshi pouted and muttered. Then he turned his head away and continued to look at the resurrected light column. My dear Eden, look, the light column that revived another of me is pink. Alicia excitedly pulled Eden and introduced it to her. I see, that color suits you very well, AI Lee. Eden, who was standing by, naturally would not spoil Alicia's interest and smiled gently. Alicia was also very happy to hear Eden's words. Chapter 128, Return of the Hero and Heading to St. Freya. May, look at that, it's another you. In the silhouettes that gradually emerged from the beam of light, Kiana saw the figure of Dr. May at a glance. That's Dr. May, Kiana, haven't you already seen the plot? Looking at the figure that Kiana pointed to, May explained to Kiana helplessly. That's in the plot, not in reality, and, it really looks like me. Kiana smiled innocently. How can it be similar? Dr. May is much better than me. Thinking of Dr. May in the plot, whether it was the leadership ability shown when leading the fire moths to fight against a Honkai, the amazing wisdom shown in various fields, or the courage to wear the blank key to fight against the Herrscher. All kinds of behaviors and achievements made Raiden May couldn't help but admire her. If I had this courage before, maybe she is very powerful, but I still like my May the most. Kiana saw that May's expression was a little wrong, and hurriedly hugged May, threw herself into her arms, found a comfortable position, and comforted her while acting coquettishly. Hard. Her fist was hard. Watching the paramecium rubbing against May's body, Branaya felt her fist was ready to move. Wu Tong looked at the people who were about to be resurrected and nodded with satisfaction, but he still felt that something was missing. Then Wu Tong turned his head and looked at the 13 heroes, and then he realized what was missing. With a thought, the dimensional gate emerged from the void again. Wu Tong stretched out his hand and drew it in the void, and the dimensional gate was like being cut into 3 parts. Then Wu Tong pushed gently, and the 3-dimensional gate slid back. At the same time, on the Ark spaceship, the big gray shoe who had just woken up was swallowed by a dimensional gate that suddenly disappeared on the spaceship. Only the spaceship intelligence was left frantically detecting Grayshoe's movements, and the alarm sounded frantically. World Serpent Headquarters. Kevin, who was getting more detailed information from the Gray Snake, was also swallowed by a dimensional gate. Kevin, who was originally going to struggle, paused when he felt the familiar energy of the dimensional gate, and then gave up struggling. He looked at Gray Snake and the others with cold eyes. Wait for me to come back. Before he finished speaking, he was teleported away. Only the messy Gray Snake and the others were left. The Moon World Bubble. The figure of Dr. May in the world bubble was abducted in an instant. In the hall of the paradise of the past. As three figures were spit out, the dimensional door gradually shattered and disappeared, and then turned into nothingness. Ah, Kevin, you are finally here, but why do you look more like an ice cube? You should smile more. Kevin. Alicia saw the familiar figure being spit out and greeted him in surprise. Then, her eyes were no longer focused on Kevin, but on the two figures beside him. Dr. May and little Grayshoe? Is that little Grayshoe? Sister Ali, Patu saw the grown-up Grayshoe, and asked Alicia, whose eyes were getting brighter and brighter, with some uncertainty. Hey, isn't that Grayshoe? Come here quickly, your sister who is here. Seeing Grayshoe, who had just been teleported and was still a little confused, Zioshi, who had Fuhu's memory, recognized her at a glance and waved his hand and shouted. Sister Hui, and Sister Alicia, Grandma Mobius, Mother Epania, Cosmo. Brother Kevin. After hearing Zioshi's voice, he looked at the people in front of him. Grayshoe, who had just woken up from a deep sleep and was still a little confused, immediately woke up and uttered a name one by one. Her expression became more and more excited. Hot tears gradually overflowed from her eyes, and her voice gradually sobbed. I really miss you guys so much, little Grayshoe. Don't cry, you meet again, shouldn't you be happy? Yes, yes, a beautiful girl can't be so sad. Since you have met again, you should be happy. Grayshoe, you have grown up. Seeing this scene, everyone in the paradise hurried forward to comfort her. After all, even if little Grayshoe has grown up, in their hearts, he will always be a child. Oh, it seems that little Grayshoe is grown up? Since he has grown up, he can't cry anymore. Just as everyone in paradise was comforting Grayshoe, a familiar voice sounded from behind everyone. Everyone looked at Alicia beside them. Alicia blinked her eyes with an innocent look. It seems that it is not her, so. Thinking of this, everyone looked back. Sure enough, the resurrection beam had disappeared. Only 13 figures were left standing there. Among them, a pink figure smiled at everyone. The eyes contained the joy of rebirth and the longing for the friend, time divider. The next day, Wu Tong took the resurrected 13 heroes of the paradise of the past and the Herrscher group and others. They boarded the plane to the Far East. After knowing the deal between Wu Tong and the heroes of the paradise of the past, the resurrected people also expressed their understanding. If possible, they also hoped that the other self in paradise can live a better life. After all, they have been busy for 50,000 years, and have been imprisoned in this cage for a long time. Taking this opportunity, they can also move towards a new life and embrace a better life. Therefore, regarding the arrangements for the aftermath of the world snake, Kevin, who has been sticking to May, said that the paradise Yingjis don't need to worry about it anymore, and he will arrange it himself. In this way, after Yingji, who has no worries, was resurrected by Wu Tong, he planned to follow Wu Tong to St. Freya College, and when the time for the crossing ticket is up, he will return to Douluo Continent with Wu Tong. On a plane to the Far East, Alicia was typing on her mobile phone, and in the chat software, she turned into a boasting teacher and flattered herself with another self. On the side, the fairy Ailey, who was brought out with the same personality as Alicia, was entangled with Ixitagarba Yuhan. Kevin sat next to Dr. May in the world bubble and talked to her. Brana took still and played games on her mobile phone. Looking at the noisy scene in front of him, Wu Tong closed his eyes with a headache. He pulled down the smart sleep eye mask. The same smart eyes as Delicia, the smart sleep eye mask. You deserve it. Suchan said it was good after using it, Greek letter omega. Then he put on headphones to block out the noise. Then he lay down on the airplane seat and prepared to sleep. After all, looking at this group of noisy guys, Wu Tong, who didn't like noisy environments, was really a bit of a headache. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 129 The Important Thing Forgotten. A few hours later, the plane arrived at the Far East airport. The people who just got off the plane saw Teresa and Himiko, who came to pick them up. "And, you are here to pick us up." As soon as they arrived at the airport, Husky couldn't hold back and began to show the energy that was sealed in the narrow space of the plane. He was the first to rush off the plane. Then he saw Teresa and the two who were waiting for him and others, and waved and greeted them. "Kiana, you should be more stable. I have told you many times that you are such a big person. Why are you still like a child?" Teresa looked at Kiana with some dissatisfaction. If she hadn't seen the future Kiana in the plot, Teresa might not have said that. But since Teresa saw the fiery red figure that was as stable as a warrior and the purple figure that was as elegant as a lady, Teresa knew that Paramecian could be changed. So Teresa began to restrain Kiana's words and deeds, trying to make her image better. But according to the feedback during this period, the effect can be said to be terrible. Am I not stable? Kiana blinked, and her brain was a little confused for a while. She thinks she is still quite stable, right? Forget it, it's not important. I'll tell you, and you don't know what happened when we went to the paradise this time. Seeing Kiana, who didn't hesitate for a few seconds, as if she had completely forgotten Teresa's words, everyone couldn't help but be speechless. "Stupid Kiana, it seems that you not only have the IQ of a paramecium, but also the memory of a fish? You forgot everything in about 7 seconds." Branaya looked at the stopwatch of the heavy armored bunny and complained expressionlessly. Alice XN. Everyone heard Branaya's words and sighed. "Wu Tong, why didn't you use that space ability to come back directly this time, and took a plane instead?" GZ, wearing a teacher's professional suit, perfectly outlined her hot figure. He didn't care about the conversation between Kiana and Teresa, but walked to Wu Tong and asked him. "It's a long story." Wu Tong's face flushed as he smelled the fragrance beside him, and he said with a dazed look in his eyes. "It's a long story? Then let's make it short." Looking at Wu Tong's expression, GZ's eyes flashed with a hint of cunning. "It seems that my charm is quite big." "Hey, Sister GZ, I didn't expect you to know the jokes of Shen's Hao." Hearing GZ's words, Wu Tong was stunned, and then he realized that GZ was joking with him. "Then let's make it short. It was a group of people like Alicia who discussed it together. Under the situation of minority obeying majority, we ended up taking a plane to come here." Wu Tong tried to express all the processes in concise language. However, although the content was missing, it was almost the same. When Alicia said that she wanted to see the sky again, Wu Tong realized that this group of heroes had been in the paradise of the past for 50,000 years. And because of the memory, he couldn't go out, and even the scenery he saw was a cold mechanical transmission. So when Alicia and others proposed to take a plane, Wu Tong did not refuse. It seems that little brother Wu Tong is also a gentle person. GZ seemed to understand the meaning of Wu Tong's words, and then spoke. "Gentle?" Wu Tong was silent when he heard this. "Am I really a gentle person?" But then he thought of the 21 maids he took in, and Wu Tong nodded with certainty. "Yes, I am a gentle person. Taking in homeless girls, helping illiterate people in the continent to popularize knowledge, working hard to promote the evolution of the world, and making up for the regrets of others. From this point of view, I am simply a saint." Just like this, in a group of people arguing, Wu Tong took everyone back to St. Freya College smoothly. After a grand welcoming banquet, Wu Tong brought everyone to a classroom in the college. "Everyone, I suddenly remembered that there is an important thing that has not been done. Let's brainstorm together and see if we can solve it." Wu Tong looked at the people in front of him with a serious expression. "Important things? Wu Tong, just tell me, a beautiful girl like me who is as gorgeous as flying flowers will help you solve your troubles." Alicia heard Wu Tong's words and took the lead. "I've been waiting for you to say this." Wu Tong's eyes flashed when he heard Alicia's words. "This matter is not big, but it's not small either." Wu Tong kept everyone in suspense and then spoke. "I'm going to build an academy, right? But now, except for the academy's buildings and teaching materials, everything else has not been settled, such as the academy's school rules, the design of the school uniforms, and the structural assembly. Why do you do this kind of thing now? What were you doing before? Also, you don't want us to help you, do you?" Mobius knew what Wu Tong was going to say when he heard it, and interrupted. Drinking tea, watching plays, fishing, Shopping, eating and sleeping, thinking of the salted fish life for more than half a month, Wu Tong felt a little guilty. After rolling his eyes glanced at Teresa. Then, as if he had thought of how to fool her, he said, "I forgot about it. After coming to this world, I saw St. Freya College and remembered it. School will start in more than a week, so everyone, please help me and help me think about it together." Then, Wu Tong looked at everyone with pitiful eyes and begged. But his mind was focused on Eden. As the gold of the previous civilization, Eden himself represents the artistic crystallization of an era. As a person who stands at the top of the art industry, Wu Tong believes in Eden's vision. As long as she helps, she can definitely help him solve this problem. Sure enough, when Wu Tong heard Alicia's response, he could already predict the result. As the most pampering fan of Ali, Eden heard Alicia's words and promised to help Wu Tong solve this problem. "It seems very interesting. Okay, let's do it together," Alicia confidently called everyone. "Okay, Ali, then leave it to the greatest magician in the world. I will never let you down. May, let's do it too." According to Branaya's analysis, the possibility of stupid Kiana making trouble is greater than the possibility of helping. There are those who agree, and there are those who refuse. "No, leave this kind of boring thing to others. I can't waste my time on such boring things," Miss Green Snake refused immediately. "For me, forget it," Cosmo followed closely. If Mobius didn't want to do it, he simply didn't know what to do. How about I find some people for you?" Teresa asked tentatively. Her academy also found people to do it back then. As for the things in it, she can only say that she knows nothing. "Okay, then I'll leave it to you all." Wu Tong clasped his hands together and thanked. Chapter 130, At the Farewell Party. The next day, in Wu Tong's dormitory, Wu Tong was lying on the recliner made of thousand-year-old agarwood that he brought. In his hand, he was holding the design book that everyone had pondered all night and designed, and he was reading it carefully. "Ai Li, you really don't know how to open a back door for you. It's okay that the girls' school uniforms are pink skirts, which can be understood as your obsession with pink skirts. But why are most of the boys' school uniforms pink? Although it looks really exquisite." This Wu Tong sighed, covered his face, and didn't want to read it anymore. He casually threw Alicia's design book on the table beside him. "Alicia pass. Hey, this is Miss Mobius, as expected, is the woman with the hardest mouth among the 13 heroes. It is said that after cremation, a woman's mouth still exists. I didn't expect that you would finally make a design book. I just don't know if it was because of Alicia's pestering, or if you wanted to do it yourself. However, this all black and green look is not in line with my idea. It is very similar to the style of Grandpa Douluo. He should like it very much. Moreover, these two costumes would look very strange if they were in other colors. Forget it, let's take a look at the next one." Mobius passed. "Let's take a look at the next one, huh? The design drawing of the Red Kite team, not bad. The Immortal's vision is still as good as ever. It really deserves to be a person with several sets of exquisite skins. Thinking of Yun Mo Danzin, Red Kite costumes, Bai Yidu Jiang and other costumes, Wu Tong has always been full of expectations for Fu Hua's work. Now it seems that the Immortal's vision is indeed well deserved. 2 sets of costumes, one for men and one for women. Both are classic Shenzhou styles, and they have been designed and created by Kang Xiaoxuan, Xiao Shi, Cheng Lixu, Dan Zhu, Kang Zhuan and Fu Hua. It combines the beauty and simplicity of modern Shenzhou costumes with the gorgeousness and stunningness of ancient costumes, which makes people shine. And the overall style of Fu Hua is inherited, and the overall image looks like a fairy, like a heavenly dress. Fu Hua's design passed. Next, Wu Tong saw other people's design drawings. From Su's medical school student costumes, the costumes made by the trio of Kiana that combine the characteristics of Europe, Russia, and the Far East, the styles made by Teresa. Although there are many excellent ones, there are also many weird ones. It can be said that Wu Tong was shocked. He didn't think there would be so many weird designs. Dividing line. In the end, after reluctantly eliminating most of the design plans, Wu Tong only had 2 plans in his hands. One is Fu Hua's Shenzhou style. The other is Eden's artistic work. Looking at the 2 clothing design drawings in front of him, Wu Tong was very entangled. The Shenzhou style is very consistent with the fantasy fairy style in his image, which made him want it. But Eden's design is also very good. For a moment, Wu Tong actually had a kind of happy trouble, not knowing how to choose. In the end, Wu Tong decided to adopt both designs. Only children make choices. I want them all JPG. After the uniform design was chosen, Wu Tong began to check other plans and designs. It was not until the afternoon that Wu Tong was freed from the college planning. Oh, I'm so tired. Fortunately, I only have to do these. I don't have to be responsible for future work. I can leave it to Raven. Let's go out for a walk. I feel like my body is almost stiff. Standing up from the recliner, Wu Tong stretched his waist, letting his body make crackling sounds, muttering to himself. Then, he opened the bedroom door that had not been opened all morning. Walked out. Huff, breathe, fresh air. Taking a deep breath, Wu Tong looked at the sun hanging high in the sky, sighed that the weather was good, and left his bedroom. Wu Tong? Are you done? Walking to the stairs, the white-haired ball found Wu Tong. His eyes lit up and asked, "How is it?" "May and I did a good job, right?" Wu Tong looked at Kiana, who looked a little proud, thought about it, and still didn't hide her confidence. "Well, it's really good. All three styles are unique. Have you decided? Whose design are you going to use? Mine or May's?" "Neither. We're going to use Fuhua and Yi Dian's designs." Wu Tong's gentle voice was like a bolt from the blue, making Kiana feel like a wilted cabbage, and her excited face gradually lost. Why is this happening? What are you going to do?" Seeing this, Wu Tong hurriedly changed the subject, trying to divert the topic away from this. "Oh, I'm going to eat. It's already noon. Damn, if May couldn't make it back now, I could have May's secret roasted chicken legs." Kiana's attention was instantly attracted. While talking, she tried to suppress her saliva that was about to flow down. Seeing this scene, Wu Tong was also relieved. Fortunately, it was Chong Chong. If it was anyone else, it would definitely not be so easy to change the subject. "May can't make it back. Then where did they go?" Wu Tong asked in confusion when he heard Kiana say May was not there. "The squad leader took me to training. I was planning to go, but," at this point, Kiana's stomach made a gurgling sound. Wu Tong's doubts disappeared instantly. "Well, now I understand. Then come to my place for dinner. I haven't eaten either." "Are you going to use that gourmet tablecloth that can turn into instant noodles with the flavor of May?" "Great." After being speechless for a moment again, Wu Tong decided not to continue the conversation. "Wait a minute, I'll notify the others first. It's just that I'm leaving tomorrow, so let's have another meal together today." After saying that, Wu Tong took out a high-tech mobile phone of the Destiny brand given by Jeezy and opened the chat group of Eternal Paradise. Looking at the name of this group chat, Wu Tong knew that it was definitely made by Alicia, but he really wanted to know how Alicia convinced the other heroes to agree to this name. Shaking his head, he threw away the distracting thoughts in his mind, and started typing, sending a message in the group. "Feng Qi Wu Tong, everyone, get ready and come to my house to have a meal. We will leave tomorrow, so we have time today. Let's get together. Please be sure to come at all members. Pink Fairy, are we leaving tomorrow? Okay, I'll be there soon. Green Snake, okay, I'll be there soon." Chapter 131, The Party Before Departure. Green Snake, wait, what's this nickname? Green Snake, Alicia. Green Snake, change my nickname back quickly. Pink Fairy, oh, Alicia doesn't know. Mobius, what are you talking about? Green Snake applied to leave the chat group. The application failed. The group owner Pink Fairy left a message, "Oh, don't be angry, it's not okay to change it back for you." Green Snake was renamed Infinite Snake by the group owner Pink Fairy. Wei Shi Fan Xing, Sister Alicia, you can't bully Grandma Mobius. Infinite Snake, Fu Sheng Ruo Mang, got it, I'll take May and the others back now. Handmaid Master, okay, Wu Tong. Handmaid Master, I'll go find Teresa and the others at Fu Sheng Ruo Mang. You take May and the others back first. Fu Sheng Ruo Mang, well, that's fine, then I'll leave it to you, Dan Zhu. Looking at the message in the chat group, Wu Tong couldn't help shaking his head. Fortunately, it was Alicia. If it was anyone else, they would have been pulled into the laboratory by Mobius. Afterwards, Wu Tong no longer paid attention to the messages in the group. After all, even those who didn't see the message would eventually be pulled over by Alicia. After putting away his phone, Wu Tong took Kiana back to the bedroom. Looking at the narrow space in front of him, Wu Tong frowned slightly, then gently lifted his feet, and when he landed, His spatial ability was instantly activated. As Wu Tong's feet touched the ground, ripples instantly appeared at the contact point and began to spread around. After leaving the center point, the ripples became larger and larger. Only a melodious sound of bang was heard. The ripples hit the wall, but did not dissipate. Instead, they caused a space distortion and pushed the wall back. The surrounding walls also had no power to resist and were pushed back by the ripples. In this way, the bedroom space was expanded little by this space ripple. Finally, until the bedroom space was expanded to the size of a basketball court. Wu Tong stopped driving the spatial power. After waiting for Wu Tong to stop expanding the space, Kiana ran out of the bedroom to see how the house suddenly became bigger. As a result, after walking out, she saw that the size of Wu Tong's house was the same as usual. Kiana ran in again and scratched her head in confusion. The space inside was indeed expanded. What's going on? After running back and forth several times, Kiana finally figured out the current situation. Wu Tong used some unknown means to expand the space inside the house, but there was no change on the outside. Wow, Wu Tong, how did you do it? The space inside and the outside are completely different, it's just the use of a small spatial ability. The principle is also very simple. As long as the space is folded in a directional manner, the folded space is flipped and spliced, and presented in the real world. In this way, although the overall size of the house has not changed, the internal space of the house has expanded a lot. If you don't give the harsher of the void court to Zilin, maybe you can do it too. Oh, that's it? Chong, have you become smart? Seeing this, Wu Tong asked, do you understand? Kiana shook her head, no, but it sounds like it's quite powerful. But if it can't be used, then it can't be used. I don't really need it. Looking at Kiana's silly look, Wu Tong breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, I thought Kiana had become smarter. But it seems that she is still the same paramecium as before. Shaking his head, Wu Tong used the power of the harsher of reason to create an oversized turntable table that could accommodate everyone. Then he placed the table in the open space in the middle of the bedroom. Afterwards, Wu Tong took out the gourmet tablecloth and began to prepare food. He called Kiana to serve the dishes to the table. After a while, everyone arrived and saw the situation of the house, and they were all amazed. Wow, Boss Wu Tong, your ability is great. Can you expand my room too? My room is a bit small. After learning about Wu Tong's actions from Kiana, Patu swooped down and came to Wu Tong, holding Wu Tong's legs and shouting. Oh, okay, I agree. Patu, let me go first. There are so many people here. Wu Tong looked at Patu helplessly and agreed to her request. Then let's thank Boss Wu Tong. After Wu Tong agreed, Patu let go of Wu Tong's legs, stood up and patted the dust off his knees. After thanking Wu Tong, he held the can and went to find other people. Oh, it seems that Brother Wu Tong is quite easy to talk to. After learning Wu Tong's real age from Fu Hui, Alicia changed her name from Wu Tong to Brother Wu Tong. Mebius did not comment on Alicia's words. Why can Patuo's request be agreed to, but his request cannot be agreed to? It's abominable. Wu Tong, don't you see what you are asking for? It's fine if you want my hair and nails, but you also want to collect my body fluids? You really treat me like a guinea pig? Be careful. I'm your boss, you rude guy. Okay, since everyone is here, let's take our seats. It's a good time to have a meal together today. We will leave tomorrow. As soon as Wu Tong finished speaking, he saw that the atmosphere was a bit heavy, so he quickly spoke to ease the atmosphere. Don't be so heavy. It's not like you won't come back. You can come back anytime you want. Hearing Wu Tong say this, everyone's mood gradually improved. Then, everyone who was about to leave began to toast their new friends. A few hours later, looking at the drunken crowd, Wu Tong stopped wanting to continue drinking. Shaking his head, he looked like he couldn't bear to watch. I told you not to drink too much. This wine is a spiritual wine. You should know that there are countless spiritual medicines in it. Although it doesn't hurt your body, the after effect is very strong. Besides, I said I'm not coming back in the future. Is it necessary to fight so hard? After saying that, Wu Tong looked at the drunk people and rolled his eyes. Then, he looked at the few people who were still awake and said, come together and help send them back. After several people agreed, Wu Tong and the remaining few people who were not drunk sent all the drunk people back to their residences. After sending everyone back, Wu Tong returned to his room. He casually sent the garbage produced after the banquet into the pseudo-black hole. A pile of garbage was instantly torn and twisted by the invisible gravity in the black hole, and finally decomposed into countless elementary particles. After cleaning up the mess that made people feel bad. Chapter 132, Resource Reserves in the Four Capitals, the heart of a strong man regained. Wu Tong did not stop his actions. The power of the Herrscher of the Void to control the imaginary space was immediately mobilized by Wu Tong. The air in front of him instantly became distorted, as if it was torn and pulled by a pair of invisible big hands, and the space was stirred up at a speed visible to the naked eye. Kaja, with a sound like glass breaking, the void space was torn open by Wu Tong. This crack was connected to the ubiquitous imaginary space. Seeing the space crack appear, Wu Tong did not hesitate, and moved straight into the imaginary space. At this moment, in the boundless imaginary space, countless pseudo-black holes and space cracks were raging in this vast imaginary space, absorbing the collapse energy like a whale swallowing the sea. Endless collapse energy was like a river hanging upside down. It was absorbed into the black hole in space, and was madly compressed inside, and finally became a collapse energy crystal. As soon as the collapse energy crystal appeared, it was detected by the intelligent brain that monitored countless spaces and black holes. Then it was stored in the storage space and became Wu Tong's future cultivation resources. This shocking scene was the energy collection factory that Wu Tong had set up in the past few days. With the auxiliary practice of Wu Tong, any material and energy can become the nourishment for his strength growth. These condensed collapse energy crystals may be dangerous to others, but for Wu Tong, they are no different from the spiritual stones in the eyes of cultivators. Moreover, because the pure energy is directly compressed into crystals, there is no impurity inside the crystals. When placed in the world of cultivation, the quality is comparable to the best spiritual stones. There is no way this endless collapse energy is really too fragrant. Moreover, the cultivation resources required by Wu Tong's cultivation of the Red Wheel Heart Sutra are huge, which is an understatement. The cultivation resources required can be said to be endless. In the Douluo world, Wu Tong, who has not yet solved the God realm, cannot leave Douluo Star and go to the starry sky for the time being, so naturally he cannot collect enough cultivation resources from the universe. So by then, Wu Tong's cultivation speed will definitely drop a lot. If I don't take advantage of this time to collect some cultivation resources, I may not have this opportunity for a long time in the future. Intelligence Brain, how many Honkai energy crystals have you collected now? Wu Tong asked the intelligent brain. After 6 days of endless condensation, I have collected about 4 Kyoto Honkai energy crystals, and each Honkai energy crystal is a standard cube of 1 cubic meter, so many. Hearing that the intelligent brain had collected more than 4 Kyoto Honkai energy crystals, Wu Tong's pupils shrank, and his expression was full of disbelief. Quantity units: 1, 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million, 10 million, 1 billion, 1 billion, 100 billion, 1 trillion, 10 trillion, 1 trillion, 1 Kyoto. Let's not talk about the units after that for now. You have to know that this is more than 4 Kyoto Honkai energy crystals. 1 trillion is a trillion, and 10,000 trillion is a Kyoto. In other words, Wu Tong now has a full 40 trillion units of Honkai energy crystals. And each Honkai energy crystal is a standard cube crystal of 1 cubic meter, formed after endless compression. If it is converted into the original gaseous collapse energy, 1 cubic meter of collapse energy crystal is enough to cause a great collapse. In other words, as long as Wu Tong is willing, he can trigger 40 trillion times of great collapse at any time. If we plunder energy like this, there will be no problem, right? Wu Tong was a little scared at this time. Even though the energy in the imaginary space is endless, it also has an owner. It doesn't matter if I take a little less, but if I plunder like this, will it make the boss unhappy? Now I can't deal with the boss of the imaginary tree. This is a standard multiverse level. If it is placed in the chat group, it is a 9th level boss. It is only 1 realm away from the 10th level boss who created the chat group. Just when Wu Tong was uneasy, suddenly, he found that the time and space around him gradually began to freeze, and all time and space seemed to slow down. Wu Tong only felt that he was now like an insect surrounded by gradually cooling ember. He couldn't move at all. Along with the condensation of time and space came a magnificent and supreme consciousness. Then, a gaze came and scanned Wu Tong from head to toe. Then, A golden light shot out from that consciousness and sank into Wu Tong's mind. As the golden light entered, a message emerged. Although I had never seen this kind of font before, it was strange that people could instinctively understand the meaning. No, just take it with confidence. It's just some energy. I don't care. There are as many of these things as you want, and you didn't take much? Just consider it as a thank you for bringing those information. Also, if you can, please take care of my children in the future. After the information was transmitted, the consciousness disappeared instantly. As the consciousness left, the condensed time and space around him began to flow. Wu Tong tentatively moved his body. Sure enough, he could move. At this time, Wu Tong, who was soaked in cold sweat, could no longer control his body. He collapsed on the ground, gasping for breath. Is this the 9th rank boss? Really? Thinking of the feeling of life and death being at the mercy of fate just now, a trace of haze flashed in Wu Tong's eyes. This feeling is really unpleasant. Then, Wu Tong shook his head, cleared his mind, and said to the intelligent brain, since the boss said he doesn't care, let's continue. Wu Tong also figured it out. This amount of energy may be a lot in his opinion, but in front of the multiverse-level boss, it is not even a grain of sands in the desert. Forging those Honkai energy crystals sound a lot, but the total energy contained in a world bubble alone is far more than this amount. And this small world bubble is a useless thing abandoned on the tree of imaginary numbers. It can be seen from this that his thoughts just now are just like a mayfly, trying to guess the lifespan of the universe. As for why a person who is not even an ant would attract the attention of the tree of imaginary numbers, this is not something Wu Tong should understand. Of course, Wu Tong doesn't want to think about these now. After all, even if I knew, what could I do? There was still nothing I could do about it. Hell, it seems like I've been a little too proud recently. Thinking of this, Wu Tong laughed at himself. Afterwards, he no longer paid attention to the factories that were manufacturing Honkai energy crystals that had started processing again. He sat cross-legged in the space and began to think about how to quickly improve his strength. Wu Tong did not blame the imaginary tree for being oppressed by its aura and unable to move, but only blamed himself for being too weak. Therefore, he had to learn from his shame and then be brave, and work hard to improve his own strength. Only in this way can he survive in this endless void where the strong prey on the weak. At this moment, Wu Tong, who had originally started to give up because he felt that he was strong enough, regained his heart as a strong man. P.S. It seems that not many people like to watch the collapse copy, so today it will end, return to Douluo, and then transition to Douluo. After that, it will be the Luo Shindageo copy of under 1%. After the Luo Shindageo is over, it will be the Development Academy and start invading other worlds. The first world to be invaded is tentatively set to be Douluo II. I really can't stand the way Hoyuheo treats the little punk like a dog. I also ask all the handsome guys and beautiful girls to support me. Don't be stingy with your votes. Chapter 133, Leap Forward and Leave the Collapse World. In this endless void that gave birth to countless worlds, somewhere in a corner, two huge monsters, the imaginary tree and the quantum sea, are still here. The tree is rooted in the sea, absorbing the power of the sea. The sea surrounds the tree, and the endless quantum tides wash and erode the essence of the tree. Between each other, there is a relationship of mutual confrontation, but also a mode of mutual trust. The coming and going constitutes this peculiar multiverse. On that vast sea, a glass-like golden tree stands on it. On that tree, every leaf is a wonderful world. Time flows on the tree, bringing new life and decay to the world on the tree. At this moment, in a certain leaf, a wonderful story is still happening. The world is broken. In the imaginary space. The imaginary space that was originally empty is now full of countless space cracks and pseudo-black holes. It devours the inexhaustible and huge energy in the imaginary space. Countless purple cube crystals fell from the space cracks and pseudo-black holes, but disappeared without a trace in the blink of an eye, just like a mysterious factory. And somewhere in this space, this place is not covered by space cracks and pseudo-black holes. Because in the center of this area, there is a swallowing force field that is more violent than the section of a black hole. It is swallowing the surrounding energy unscrupulously. And in its center, a young man is sitting upright at this moment. Like a real black hole, it swallows up endless huge energy without rejection. The man is naked, and all his clothes are eroded and dissipated by the violent collapse energy. Only the figure that stands upright like a pillar of heaven stands in this violent energy tide. There is no expression on his handsome face, as if absorbing this endless energy is as easy and comfortable as drinking water. The muscles were like those cast from fine steel, not bloated at all, on the contrary, very condensed and capable, and the bronze skin was full of masculine beauty. After letting go and exerting all my strength, my progress is really different from before. Feeling the earth-shaking changes in his body, Wu Tong exhaled a breath of turbid air and then opened his eyes. Unexpectedly, at that moment, the pure yang qi that was filled in Wu Tong's body and had nowhere to vent immediately flowed out of his eyes as if it had found an outlet. In an instant, a red light burst out, and the river of liquid collapse energy in front of Wu Tong was instantly evaporated by this energy, leaving a large gap. Is this thermal vision? Seeing this scene, Wu Tong instantly thought of a similar cheater, Superman. The pervert who can become stronger just by basking in the sun. The thermal vision attack method is one of Superman's iconic abilities. No, it's different, and this attack method is too inefficient. However, Wu Tong changed his mind and shook his head. This was just emitting the energy in the body from the eyes, not the superhuman thermal vision. Moreover, this attack method was too inefficient. Compared with other attack abilities that Wu Tong mastered, it was meaningless except for wasting energy. It would also cause certain damage to the eyes. If it weren't for the fact that his body had been strengthened and nourished by the pure yang qi, the thermal vision just now would have completely damaged his eyes. Although he had the ability to heal and was not afraid of this kind of damage. Any normal person would not seek trouble for no reason. After thinking it through, Wu Tong immediately put the thermal vision behind him. Then he sank his consciousness into his body, and at the original 720 acupoints in his body, 110 acupoints suddenly lit up. This was Wu Tong's progress that night. The 110 pure yang acupoints were completely filled. It must be said that after the consent of the imaginary tree, Wu Tong had no worries at all and began to devour them wantonly. In addition, the Herrscher of the Void controls the imaginary space, and the Herrscher of the Rock controls gravity, which allows Wu Tong to quickly gather energy in the imaginary space. The infinite return to the origin, which is assisted by the intelligent brain, directly transforms all energy into countless pure yang true qi. In this way, Wu Tong began to devour the collapse energy and transform it into pure yang true qi. With a supply of countless pure yang true qi, the acupoints in Wu Tong's body were filled one after another. In just one night, a large number of pure yang acupoints were successfully filled. Together with the acupoints filled before, there were a total of 110. Therefore, Wu Tong's combat power took another leap forward. Feeling the further strengthening of his body under the erosion of the collapse energy and the tempering of the pure yang true qi, Wu Tong clenched his palms hard. Bang! A huge sonic explosion sounded. The liquid energy in Wu Tong's palm was actually directly crushed and completely turned into nothingness. The surrounding space was also torn into several tiny cracks because of this huge brute force. Is this because my body can tear the space? Looking at the tiny wound on his palm that was torn by the space crack, Wu Tong didn't care about this small wound and was full of ecstasy. This time, the harvest was really huge. Not only did the Red Wheel Heart Sutra improve rapidly, but the physical strength was also stronger. Now he could actually tear the space directly with brute force. Although he couldn't resist the damage of the space crack, this progress was enough to make Wu Tong satisfied. With a happy mood, Wu Tong asked the intelligent brain, "Intelligent brain, how many collapse energy crystals have you collected now?" After fully operating the two powers, we have successfully collected 4.5 jing of collapse energy crystals, and the number is still increasing. 4.5 jing? It should be enough for me for a while. Hearing the answer from the intelligent brain, Wu Tong touched his chin. With these cultivation resources, even in the low magic world like Douluo Continent in the future, Wu Tong can ensure that his strength will grow rapidly. By the way, how long have I been practicing? Suddenly thinking of Douluo Continent, Wu Tong realized that the ticket time seemed to be coming soon. You have been practicing for 20 hours. You will leave this world in about an hour. Damn, so fast. After hearing the answer from the intelligent brain, Wu Tong finally reacted and started to act. Looking at his naked body, Wu Tong first used the power of the ruler of reason to construct a set of vibranium nano-windbreaker made of nanotechnology. Soul Steel is a kind of nanotechnology, and vibranium is a chat group product. After analysis, it can be directly constructed through the power of the ruler of reason. After putting it on, He opened the portal of the imaginary space and left the imaginary space. Only the Hongke crystal manufacturing factory was still running. After leaving the imaginary space, Wu Tong quickly notified others on his mobile phone that he was about to leave. Then, he came to the headquarters of the Destiny. Wu Tong took the storage equipment that the intelligent brain had tinkered with in the past few days, which was made by the power of space and could store living things in the realm. He took the 1,500 female Valkyrie teachers prepared by Otto for him. After collecting the Valkyrie, Wu Tong immediately set off for Changquang City and took the Weisstein Raven, who had been deceived, and her adopted children into the Zumi realm. Then, Wu Tong returned to St. Freya College without stopping. After the heroes said goodbye to the others, they took the 13 heroes of the Paradise of the Past and Klein, mechanical version, as well as a bunch of armed puppets into the Zumi realm. At this time, there was not much time left. Wu Tong asked the intelligent brain to stop the extraction of Hongke energy, collected all the Hongke energy crystals in the imaginary space, and closed all the space cracks and pseudo-black holes. Then, he took the farewell gifts prepared by the people of St. Freya College for himself and gave them a hug. Wu Tong's mind moved, and the power of the ticket to travel through time was triggered again, taking Wu Tong away from the world of Hongke. Chapter 134. Douluo Continent. The Academy in the Afterglow Canyon. In the Yuling Kuifang Soul Beast treehouse in the depths, Wu Tong's figure instantly appeared at the place where he left. After returning, Wu Tong did not pay attention to the change of the scene, and was still recalling the scene when he left. I have to say, it is worthy of being a Shenshao flat plate. Fu Hua's chest is really flat. I don't feel anything when I hug her. Alice, 50,000 years, there is no improvement at all. Wu Tong recalled the embrace of everyone before leaving, and complained about Fu Hua's figure with some hatred. Before he could complain a few words, he heard an excited roar from behind. Wu Tong turned his head and saw a black figure rushing towards him. Is this the split sky seat? Wu Tong took a closer look and recognized the figure rushing over. It was the black flashing split sky seat that he won in the lottery from the chat group. It's hatched? So fast. Then he looked in the direction it rushed from. Sure enough, there was only an eggshell that was cracked in two. The crystal of life that he left behind has completely disappeared. It seems that it is the effect of the crystal of life. As soon as Rayquaza saw Wu Tong, he rushed towards Wu Tong, circling happily in the air, like a black streamer, looking very light and flexible. Wu Tong carefully looked at Rayquaza's figure and felt more and more satisfied. It has a slender body, most of which is black, with a few golden circles on its back, red-edged wings on its shoulders and under its body, and a fin-like structure at the end of its tail. There are two long and flat horn-like structures on its head, and two smaller horns below, and two clear fangs at the tip of its upper snout. It has a pair of yellow eyes with a black pupil in the middle. There are two arms on its abdomen, each with 3 claws, which flash with a faint cold light, making people know at a glance that they are extremely sharp. I believe that any man who sees Rayquaza for the first time will think of one word: handsome. Wu Tong was no exception, not to mention that Rayquaza would have a more handsome form in the future, and Super Rayquaza would look even more domineering and powerful. After admiring Rayquaza's flying figure for a while, Wu Tong took Rayquaza out of his treehouse. He walked to the open space below and put Rayquaza in the air, letting it fly and roam freely in the sky. Wu Tong ignored it, and stretched out his right hand in the void, and the Sumeru realm instantly appeared in Wu Tong's hand, with a flash of light. More than 1,500 figures were spit out by the Sumeru realm, and densely appeared in the open space in front. Wow, is this Wu Tong's academy? What a beautiful scenery. As soon as Alicia came out, she began to look around, and after seeing the academy in the Afterglow Canyon clearly, she praised sincerely. Sister Ailey is right, it's so beautiful. It seems that Boss Wu Tong has a high status in this world. Pato, will have a backer in the future. Pato was also very happy to see this prosperous academy. With such a large academy, it is clear at a glance that Boss Wu Tong's identity is not simple. Ling, we will live here in the future. Ying looked at the beautiful academy with a vision of the future in her eyes. That's right, Ling did not stay in the original world. After knowing the deal between Wu Tong and Ying Ji of the Paradise of the Past, the resurrected Ying went directly to Wu Tong and asked Wu Tong to leave the collapsed world with Ling at the cost of combat skills. Now that I think about it, she probably doesn't want her sister to be hurt again. After seeing their future work scenes, the 1,500 Valkyries on the side also began to chatter and discuss. Several male Yingjis on the side did not care about the scenery here, but were attracted by the flying sky seat in the air. Handsome, Cosmo's eyes lit up. Kui, Kevin's eyes were full of desire. Is this a dragon? Sue, as a former civilized Shanshu person, recognized the image of Rayquaza at a glance. It seems very strong. Ha. Brother G did not care about the superficial appearance, but noticed the huge energy in Rayquaza's body. As the saying goes, a woman is equivalent to 500 ducks. The chirping of these 1,500 women really gave Wu Tong a headache. Seeing this, Wu Tong hurriedly waved to summon his maid team and asked them to take the Valkyrie away. Find out about the future work and the location of their dormitories. Huh? What about you? What are you going to do next? After sending the Valkyrie away, Wu Tong breathed a sigh of relief, and then turned to look at 13 Yingji and the others. Since he had promised to let them live the life they wanted, Wu Tong would naturally not break his promise. Build me a laboratory. I heard from Hua that there are many strange soul beasts in this world. Although their strength is not very good, I still want to study them. Maybe they can give me some inspiration. Mobius thought for a while and finally decided to continue pursuing the infinity he wanted. Okay, no problem. I will upload all the knowledge I have mastered to the soul network in a while. You can also take a look. I will open up the permissions for you. Wu Tong handed Mobius a bracelet and then spoke. Mobius was naturally familiar with this bracelet. This was the product of their previous civilization, a smart device similar to a mobile phone. Soul network? You mean, the network of this world? Mobius asked with interest after turning on the smart bracelet and looking at the screen projected in the air, which showed a signal pattern. Well, I made it. Although it is still in its early stages, it is more than enough to store knowledge. Also, you can study the knowledge I uploaded. It contains knowledge from other worlds that I collected. After Wu Tong instructed the intelligent brain to share the database with his soul network, he gave Mobius a second-level permission so that she could obtain some universal knowledge from it. That's good. Don't worry. I am confident that my desire for knowledge is not inferior to anyone else. Mobius had no objection to Wu Tong asking her to learn. If she wanted to achieve the infinity in her heart, learning new knowledge was inevitable. I want it too. Wei Wei saw the smart bracelet and said to Wu Tong with shining eyes. She was also very curious about the knowledge of other worlds that Wu Tong mentioned. Seeing this, Wu Tong casually rubbed out a bunch of modified smart bracelets and handed them to the others present. Seeing that Wei Wei and Mobius had plans, the others also began to talk about their plans. In the end, Kevin took a dozen Kevin-type armed puppets and became the security captain of the academy. Klein still became Mobius's experimental assistant. Sue became the school's psychologist, with a healing soul master. The profession of doctor is not particularly needed, so he became a psychologist. Wu Tong, however, with Sue's riddle-like personality, can he really help students with their psychological problems? Ying and Abanaya became teachers at the school, and Ling stayed with Ying and became Ying's assistant. Wu Tong, isn't it strange that a teacher has an assistant? Ying, don't interfere in Yingji's affairs. Chapter 135, Alicia preparing to travel again. Master Qianji has no requirements for work, he just wants a peaceful life. Therefore, Wu Tong recommended him a position, the canteen chef. Master Ji's cooking skills are still very good, go be a chef. Master Ji, Grey Xiu is ready to continue painting, and Wu Tong prepared a studio for her. Cosmo continued to stay with Grey Xiu and served as Grey Xiu's bodyguard. In the end, among all the people present, only Alicia, Eden, Hua and Padua were left without arrangements. What are you going to do? Looking at the remaining 4 people in front of him, Wu Tong asked. Your place is indeed beautiful, but a beautiful girl cannot be bound by one place. I want to see the scenery of this world and experience new life. Alicia, who has traveled around the world since she was a child, expressed her thoughts and wanted to see the scenery of this world again. My good Eden, come with me, how about it? After Ali finished speaking, she invited Eden next to her. Eden would naturally not refuse Ali's invitation. She agreed to Ali's invitation without a goal. Great, Eden. Let's go here first, then here and here. After hearing Eden's agreement, Alicia excitedly pointed to the map on the smart bracelet and introduced her travel plan to Eden. Eden was standing aside, looking at her with a smile. Okay, what about you two? Wu Tong did not refuse AI Lixa's idea of world travel. With the strength of the two of them, no one in the entire Douluo star could be their opponent. Naturally, there is no so-called danger. Moreover, with a smart bracelet in hand, a group of people can contact at any time. If anything happens, Wu Tong, who has space ability, can also arrive instantly. In this way, there is naturally no problem. It's just that AI Lixa may be disappointed. The darkness of this world is not just a little bit in the collapsed world. At least the collapsed world still has order to maintain, and those ambitious people are not too presumptuous. And the Douluo world. Alice. Feudal society, fantasy world, theocracy, plus religious beliefs. How could a world with these four labels be so beautiful? The law of the jungle has long been the norm in people's minds. Boss Wu Tong, a pair of white jade hands waved in front of Wu Tong, pulling Wu Tong back to his senses. Ah. What's wrong, Patuo, Boss Wu Tong? I said I want to open a store and buy some of my collections. Seeing Patuo looking for praise, Wu Tong naturally did not hesitate to praise her. It's really good. I will ask someone to find a store for you in the college. After a week, when the students arrive, Patuo, your store can be opened. Wu Tong looked at Patuo with a smile and gave her suggestions. That's great, but what about the rent? Patuo looked embarrassed, with a pair of big eyes sparkling, looking at Wu Tong pitifully. The rent is waived. I don't care about this little money. Wu Tong waved his hand calmly. This is not Wu Tong bragging. Since he had the protection of the prince's mansion, Wu Tong directly took out some things that could make money quickly but would not arouse covetousness. He directly formed a chamber of commerce with Zhu King. No, it should be Jinring Su. With the endorsement of the prince's mansion and the secret help of the spirit hall, after 6 years of development, it has now become almost one of the largest chambers of commerce in the entire continent. Making a fortune every day is definitely not an adjective. For Wu Tong, money is really just a number. Not to mention, now that he has the power of the ruler of reason, Wu Tong can even directly turn into a money printing machine. As long as he wants, he can madly produce gold soul coins at any time, and they are exactly the same as other gold soul coins, ensuring that no one can recognize that they are counterfeit money. That's great, thank you, Boss Wu Tong. Patuo pounced and fell at Wu Tong's feet. What about you? Haven't you thought about it yet? After finishing Patuo's arrangement, Wu Tong turned his head and looked at Tua on the side. I don't know. This answer was not unexpected to Wu Tong. This honest child. Then why don't you become a teacher, mainly responsible for teaching combat skills, teaching people? Okay, Hua was silent for a while, and finally agreed. After all, she really didn't know what she should do. If she could teach a few apprentices, it would be good. At this time, Hua, who still didn't know about the 7 swords of Take-Su, thought so. Then, after arranging the people brought from the collapsed world, Alicia left with a group of people in a mighty manner, preparing to visit the academy, in the name of witnessing the starting point of the journey. Let's go, I'll prepare the laboratory you need for you. Looking at Mobius and Velvet, who had been waiting for him to arrange the others, Wu Tong said, and then he moved and took the 2 people to the depths of the canyon behind Yuling Kuofin. Here, there is nothing else except a cliff. Let's go here. Looking at the cliff in front of him, Wu Tong said with satisfaction. Although these 2 are true geniuses, there are always accidents in research. Especially Wei Wei, as a rebellious genius, her unexpectedness can be said to be hard to guard against. So, in order not to disturb others, you need to find a quiet place. This location is just right, not far from your residence. If there is a problem, you can rush there immediately. Moreover, under your nose, Mobius's research will not be too excessive. Wu Tong thinks that he does not have the affinity of Alicia, and may not be able to suppress Mobius. Therefore, it is necessary to put this snake, which is almost crazy in pursuit of infinity, under your nose and supervise it. Thinking of this, Wu Tong rubbed his eyebrows with a headache. Genius is indeed a genius, but why are they 2 problem children? After coming back to his senses, Wu Tong stretched out his hand and pressed on the cliff. Space cutting. As the terrifying cutting power of space was constantly displayed, a square hole suddenly appeared on the cliff in front of him. The cut material was collected by Wu Tong. Looking at the dark cave, Wu Tong was not in a hurry to go in. The power of the ruler of reason was activated, and the silver-white metal flowed like a conscious liquid. In the blink of an eye, it covered the entire hole. Then, ventilation facilities, water source facilities, heating facilities, sound insulation facilities, sewage facilities and various other facilities were also presented one by one with Wu Tong's efforts. Tisk, it is worthy of the ability of the ruler of reason. Every time I see it, it is so shocking. Wei Weiwei praised this scene. However, the other two ignored Wei Weiwei's meaning. Wu Tong did not stop and continued to materialize the objects. After a while, a perfect laboratory appeared in front of several people. Various high-end instruments of previous civilizations and current civilizations. Laboratory equipment of various organizations such as Anti-Entropy, Destiny, World Serpent, and Fire Chaser Moth. Collidors, quantum computers, centrifuges, and high-power microscopes were materialized by Wu Tong one by one and neatly placed in this laboratory. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 136 Guruli, Endless European Drugs, Endless African Tears. How, women after finishing the lab, Wu Tong, who was no longer useful, was driven out by two geniuses who were waiting impatiently. Standing outside the lab, Wu Tong, who was blowing the cold wind, had a deeper understanding of the fickleness of women. Returning to his residence, Wu Tong's consciousness entered the chat group that he had not entered for a long time. In the Dimension chat group, Dragon King spraying water, old man, that means that the 7 countries in the world have now completely formed an alliance? World leisure travel, yes, with the help of the horse spell given by friend Wu Tong, I have completely solved all the difficulties of other countries. World leisure travel, and they knew about the endless void and the chat group, and agreed to Liu Yu's alliance request. Don't believe the poor young man. What about Canria? Is it also an ally? Old man? World leisure travel, that's not the case. The hatred between Canria and Xianli is too great. The Prince of the Abyss does not trust us, so he did not agree to our alliance? Don't believe the poor young man? Newcomer? When did this happen? I just didn't log in for 7 days. How come a new person suddenly appeared? Did a month go by so quickly? And don't bully the poor young? Will it become don't bully the poor middle-aged and the poor old in the future? Looking at this nickname that suddenly appeared, Wu Tong silently complained in his heart. Let me see who picked such a bad name. While complaining, Wu Tong clicked on the new person's avatar, Xiao Yan. Oh, it's you, then it's okay, it fits. Then, Wu Tong swiped a few times in the group member list. In addition to Xiao Yan, 2 new people were added to the list. They are Kobayashi's Dragon Maid World, the cute dragon Kana Kamui, whose group nickname is Hungry Dragon Roar, and it seems that she has not been adopted by Kobayashi yet. And Gabriel's Fallen World, the Lazy Angel Gabriel, whose group nickname is the Lazy Fallen Angel. Wu Tong flipped through the chat records again and found that this lazy angel seemed to have fallen. This time is a bit tricky, right? Should I go and intercept Thor? Wu Tong touched his chin, looking at the timeline of the plot that a few people were in, and couldn't help thinking. Thor's obedient dragon maid, I also want one. But after thinking for a while, Wu Tong gave up. Thor's temper and jealousy are too strong. After accepting Thor, the harem will definitely be in turmoil in the future. And compared to Thor, Wu Tong likes Lu Kuei more. Not only is her figure amazing, but she also has a very good temper, and she will send some benefits from time to time. If I have time in the future, I will go to the world of dragon maids. After making up his mind, Wu Tong closed the member list. Turned his eyes back to the chat group. Seeker, is there a new person? Sorry, I've been a little busy these days and haven't been online yet. I didn't expect that there are new people. Seeker, lucky red envelope. Group assistant, group member Seeker sent a lucky red envelope. Everyone come and grab it. The Lazy Angel, 600 points? The boss is generous, bowing to thank him. Gabriel's Fallen World. The Lazy Angel Gabriel, who has completely fallen, tapped her toes while playing games. From time to time, she would mock other gamers' game skills. Suddenly, she felt that the chat group in that dimension suddenly issued a prompt, and Gabriel hurriedly went online. This chat group is the source of her confidence to resist her sister in the future and ensure that she can stay in the world. There must be no mistakes. Gabriel hurriedly clicked on it. Wow, there are rich people throwing money $$ as soon as she entered the group. Gabriel saw a big red envelope, and hurriedly started to grab the red envelope, and finally got 600 points from it. This made Gabriel very excited. This is 600 points. Now, she doesn't have to worry about living expenses for several months. Don't believe the poor young man. Wow, is this another time traveler with a cheat? Finally popped up. Don't believe the poor young man. Hey, red envelope, I'll grab it. Don't believe the poor young man. 1,000 points? Thank you, big man. Fighting the world. The back mountain of the Xiao family. Xiao Yan was lying on the ground, chatting with everyone in the chat group, and at the same time he was impressed by Wu Tong's generosity. 1,000 points is not a small amount, especially for me now. 2 days ago, a black card came to me. The moment he saw the card, Xiao Yan immediately became uneasy. He could swear that the text was definitely Chinese characters from Earth. Then, in his excitement, Xiao Yan did not hesitate at all, and even did not read what was written on it clearly, and directly agreed to the invitation. Then, he entered this chat group that spanned the heavens and the worlds. Later, after learning about his own story from the plot, Xiao Yan also understood why he could not practice. Then, Xiao Yan used some things exchanged from the chat group to confront Yao Lao, and successfully worshipped Yao Lao as his teacher, embarking on the original path. However, I believe that with the existence of the chat group, many regrets in the plot can be avoided. For example, the marriage cancellation incident. Thinking of the humiliation that could have been avoided in the plot, Xiao Yan's eyes flashed a cold light. Nalan Yanran Hungry Dragon Roar. 1,400 points, great, I can buy delicious food. Hungry Dragon Roar, thank you. Kana looked at the 1,400 points in her balance, her eyes shining as she skillfully swiped out the group mall. She found the food module with ease and clicked it. A large number of delicious foods were placed on plates in front of Kana for her to choose from. Magi Yabakune, Kana exclaimed, then skillfully picked up the countless delicacies and began to choose. Cute King, red envelope? I grabbed it, but only 300 points? Photographer, mine is 600, how about others? Buyao Bilion, not bad, I grabbed 1,000 points this time, Qi Yuan Xian Ren. 100. Tianji Wang. 5,000. Chen Shi Xian Yu, not bad, I just grabbed 1,900 points. Photographer, Wu Tong, how much did you send? Seeker. 15,000 red envelopes. Photographer, so let me put it that way. Dragon King sprayed water, 100 points. Everyone, how did you and Fu Hua get 100 points out of 15,000 points? When everyone saw that the group owner actually pulled 3 new people this time, they thought her luck had improved. Well, now it seems that the group owner is still the same unlucky person, and her luck has not changed at all. The ups and downs are really sad. Although Fu Hua is the same, her luck is very stable, without any ups and downs. Laughs. Dragon King sprayed water, European dogs go to hell. Chapter 137, The Ingenious Crane's Huge. Dragon King sprays water, salted fish stab JPG. Dragon King sprays water, according to the law of conservation of luck, my luck is bad, and it must be someone among you who has sucked my luck away. Dragon King sprays water, who is it? How dare you steal my luck, why don't you report your name quickly? Photographer, the group leader is Seeker, crazy, convinced. Unshakable Lotus, oh, so pitiful, you are crazy, your whole family is crazy. Guruli looked angry, can't you vent your frustration? Seeing Zhang Chulin pop up, Guruli's eyes flashed with coldness. As a fool, I don't care about Xiao Sanayu, but Wu Tong is a rich man, I can't afford to offend him. But you, a mere Zhang Chulin, dare to pop up and jump around, do you really think that the big sword in my hand is joking with you? Big sword, refers to the privileges of the group owner? Dragon King spraying water, are you talking? Why don't you talk? Dragon King spraying water, don't you like to talk? At Cute King, shivering. Photographer, shivering. Lazy Angel, shivering. Don't believe the poor young man, shivering. Hungry Dragon roaring, shivering. Passerby, shivering. Seeing this scene, the depressed Guruli couldn't help but be a little speechless. Sure enough, the essence of human beings is a repeater, convinced. After a while of playing around, the topic finally returned to the main topic. Dragon King spraying water, Wu Tong, you are finally online. What have you been doing these days? I can't contact you. Seeker, looking for the teacher, I went to the collapsed world. Dragon King spraying water, collapsed world? You went to the collapsed world? Did you see Alicia? Seeker? Seeker, why do you think I will go to see Alicia? Dragon King sprays water, tisk, we are all dead otakus, who doesn't know who? Will you not go to see my wife? Dragon King sprays water, don't change the subject, you must have seen my wife Alicia. Seeker, Seeker, I saw her, and she was brought back, how about being envious? Dragon King sprays water, huh? Damn? Dragon King sprays water, no, my Alicia. Seeker, correction, now it's my Alicia, funny. Photographer, so you, the group leader, actually like women? Sanayuki was shocked at this time, and Yi was actually by my side? Dragon King sprays water, no, little Sanayu, listen to my explanation. Dragon King sprays water, I'm talking about the second-dimensional paperman wife, it's just a description, I'm not Yi. Guruli hurriedly explained that if this was misunderstood, no woman would be willing to stick with her in the future. But she wanted to post it when she met with Sanayuki, Fuhua, Hexi and others. Chenshi Xian'ao, Wu Tong, you are finally online. Thank you for your help this time. Now the problem of the 7 countries has been basically solved. Chenshi Xian'ao, designated red envelope, Seeker, group member Seeker has received a designated red envelope. Seeker, it's okay, what's the matter, we are all friends, help each other. Wu Tong looked at the horse talisman in his hand, threw it into the storage space with his backhand, and replied. Chenshi Xian'ao, my friend, don't worry, since the contract has been signed, I will definitely abide by it. Chenshi Xian'ao, even if the sky falls, the contract must be completed. Seeker, then I will wait for you at that time. Wu Tong must be relieved about Zhongli's promise. After all, everyone knows that the King of Rock attaches great importance to the contract. Passerby, no, why don't I understand it a little bit? Buyao Bilion, +1 Meng Wang, +1 Bianji Wang, what's so hard to understand? These two guys made a deal in private. Tianji Wang, since Zhongli has solved the problem of the 7 countries, he must have borrowed a horse charm that Wu Tong drew a few days ago. Tianji Wang, he can't solve it himself. In this way, if this is a deal, Wu Tong has already put the stakes. Tianji Wang, since Wu Tong has put the stakes, Zhongli will definitely put an equivalent stake on the other side of the scale given his appreciation of the contract. Tianji Wang, and the only stakes that can be equivalent to the 7 countries are the 7 countries. Buyao Bilion, in other words, Brother Tong has conquered the 7 countries in the world? Zhang Qiulin was shocked. Did Brother Tong make such a big deal without making any noise? Seeker, awesome, worthy of being the Xianji king who is famous for his wisdom in the universe. Hizai's guess is completely correct, but Chulan, you guess wrong. Seeing Hizai's guess, Wu Tong was also surprised. Is it so accurate? What a brilliant plan, he's huge. Seeker, I didn't conquer them, I just signed a contract. Seeker, if Tiamat is completely destroyed in the future, the 7 gods will bring all the people of the 7 kingdoms to settle here. Unshakable, so that's it. Zhang Qiulin rolled his eyes. Isn't that the same idea? If they settle in your world, they will definitely be conquered by you. Zhang Qiulin has a deep understanding of Wu Tong's methods and ambitions. But he was not stupid enough to say it in the group. Cute King, huh? Qiulin, have you prepared the Luotian Dajio? Cute King, it seems that you are not so anxious today. Seeing Zhang Qiulin, who often cried about his hard work in the group during this period, suddenly changed back to his original appearance, Rimuru asked with some confusion. Unshakable, that's right, all the arrangements are ready, and we are waiting for the guests to come. As Zhang Qiulin said this, a gleam of light flashed in his eyes. Everything is ready, and now we are just waiting for the guests to come. No matter you are a bad guest or a distinguished guest. Come quickly. I am waiting for you at the Luotian Grand Ceremony. Luotian Grand Ceremony? Dragon King spraying water, oh, by the way, the newcomer just arrived and doesn't know anything yet. Dragon King spraying water, the so-called Luotian Grand Ceremony is, blah blah explanation, Dragon King spraying water, that's it. Everyone in the group decided to help him when the time comes. Dragon King spraying water, by the way, the first offline matchmaking will be held, I see, then I will go with you, but when is the Luotian Grand Ceremony? Dragon King spraying water, oh, it should be these few days, right? Dragon King spraying water, how long will it take? Reporting to the group owner, there are still 3 days before the event. Passerby, so soon? Passerby, it always feels like it hasn't been long, but the time is coming. Dragon King spraying water, maybe it's because you are too rushed, because you live too full, and as a result, you don't pay attention to the passage of time. Passerby, maybe. Thinking back to this period of time, every day I was either traveling through time or on the way to travel through time, and there were always a lot of things to deal with. Katoya rubbed his brows and couldn't help feeling a headache. Chapter 138 Mysterious Animal Skin, Great Opportunity. Hungry Dragon roars, Michiya Bakune. Hungry Dragon roars, Kana wants to go too. Unshakable, welcome, welcome, Kana-chan. Seeing that the little cute dragon was also planning to come, Zhang Chulin quickly replied. Of course, he welcomes this little cute dragon with a very cute appearance and strong fighting power. After all, it can represent a world. And if Kana-chan can be coaxed to be happy, maybe he can get some magic from another world. That's magic, and the performance in the plot is not weak, both in strength and functionality. Existence fading, time reversal, repair, communication magic across the world, summoning of creatures from other worlds, everyone seems to want it. Lazy Angel, you all want to go? Lazy Angel, tisk, then I'll go over too. I really don't want to move in order to fit in, Gabriel said reluctantly. Unshakable, seeing Gabriel's words, Zhang Chulin's forehead was covered with several black lines. This lazy angel. Then, as if he had thought of something, a sly smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. You don't want to come, right? I hope you can be so tough later. Buyao Bilion, what a pity, I was going to say that the games in our world are. Lazy Angel, I will arrive on time, please rest assured. Seeing Zhang Chulin's message, Gabriel realized that other worlds have games that our world doesn't have. Moreover, the technology in that world seems to be quite advanced, so the games must be better. Shouldn't I go and collect them? After thinking it through, Gabriel immediately forgot what she had just said and quickly answered. Dragon King spraying water, 666. Don't despise the poor youngsters, 666. Photographer, 666. Cute King, 666. Seeing the praise from everyone, Gabriel didn't mind. As long as there were new games, she wouldn't care about other people's opinions. Seeker, okay, since we are all going, let's get everything ready. 7 days is not long, but it's not short either. Seeker, tell your family, don't let them worry. Don't bully the poor young man, 7 days? Don't bully the poor young man, thank you for reminding me, I'll go tell my father and the others. Dragon King spraying water, if you didn't say it, I would have forgotten. I'll tell my parents too. Seeker, just know it in your mind. Seeker, by the way, since there are new people here, a month should have passed, right? Seeker, then there should be new products in the group mall, right? Seeker, have you all read it? Is it useful? Seeing Wu Tong's message, everyone naturally understood that Wu Tong was not talking about what they uploaded, but the limited time discount products updated monthly in the chat group. However, Photographer G, Wu Tong, 5 new products have been updated, but they are useless. Seeker, none? Seeing Xiao Sanayu's message, Wu Tong was also a little curious, and then opened the panel of the group mall. As the panel of the group mall was opened, the first thing that came into view was the 5 limited time discount items. The original 5 items had completely disappeared and were replaced by 5 new items. Wu Tong looked at them carefully, and the appearance of the 5 items instantly emerged. What are these? Toilet paper, insect corpses, rusty kitchen knives, a piece of animal skin, and mineral water. None of them are useful. Wu Tong was still not giving up. After looking at the detailed information again, he finally gave up completely. Toilet paper, mineral water, and rusty kitchen knives are all ordinary products of the urban world. For everyone, they are almost useless. The insect corpse is an insect corpse from the world of spiritual energy revival, but it is an ordinary corpse, not even the strength of a first-level ordinary person. As for the animal skin, it is a bit mysterious. Apart from the information of a piece of animal skin, there is no other introduction. However, seeing that it is only 10 points, Wu Tong does not have any hope for this. Forget it, since I am here, I might as well buy something. Maybe I can analyze the spiritual energy from the insects? Wu Tong looked at the 5 items and said helplessly. Then, he exchanged the insect's corpse. When he was about to leave, he turned around and looked at the animal skin. His mind seemed to be hooked by something. After thinking about it, he exchanged it as well, just after Wu Tong exchanged the animal skin. In the endless void. A certain magnificent world, a cluster of countless multiverses. In the human multiverse cluster, Zuanoang world. An old farmer who was hoeing the field stopped his action. He seemed to be looking into the distance in surprise. If Wu Tong could see it, he would be shocked. Because the place where the old farmer was looking was exactly the direction where he was. Oh, interesting, I never thought that the thing I threw away at the beginning is still there. I thought it had been picked up by those guys after such a long time, but now it seems that I was wrong. Yes, pure human blood, and it also has the mark of the ancestral star. A time traveler? It's just that the little guy Sakai's aura is a bit strong, the aptitude is good, but the learning is a bit miscellaneous. Forget it, since you picked it up, I will help you. I hope you can discuss the Tao with me in the future, little guy. After saying that, the old farmer smiled and moved his right index finger slightly. A barely detectable wave shot out instantly, flying towards the Douluo world where Wu Tong was at an unspeakable speed. Almost instantly, it crossed the endless world and arrived at Wu Tong's world. It went straight through the void barrier, the world fetal membrane, and the chat group's forbidden protection. Finally, it sank into the animal skin in Wu Tong's hand. The moment the wave entered, the hide seemed to be activated, emitting an almost imperceptible glimmer, and then fell silent again. Seeing that the hide had received the wave, the old farmer smiled, and then continued to move on to his unfinished work, hoeing the field. It's just an ordinary hide? Forget it, just take it as a lesson. After a careful inspection, Wu Tong found that there was nothing special about the hide. He shook his head in disappointment and then put the hide aside. But he didn't see that the hide thrown aside turned into a ray of light and sank into Wu Tong's body. Afterwards, Wu Tong took out the body of the insect and handed it to the intelligent brain for analysis, and finally successfully analyzed the information of spiritual power from it. It was incorporated into the pure Yang True Key, adding spiritual energy, a kind of energy that can be converted. Chapter 139 Group Dungeon opened, refining the human emperor banner. So far, Wu Tong's Red Wheel Heart Sutra has nearly 10 kinds of energy characteristics and changes. Pure Yang Qi, Xianshan Yiki, Soul Power, Magic Element, Qi and Blood, Spiritual Power, Collapse Energy, Imaginary Energy, Quantum Energy, Elemental Power. Oh, that's right. In the future, there may be 4 more energies, including the Holy Light of Angels, the Magic Power, Mana, of Dragon Maids, the Dupo's Daoqi, and the Fate Power of Star Iron. My pure Yang Qi is really becoming more and more versatile. Maybe in the future, it can really become an omnipotent energy. Wu Tong looked at the increasing number of energy types that were converted, and his vision of the future was in his mouth. Afterwards, Wu Tong, who had dealt with these trivial matters, once again invested his consciousness in the chat group. In the Dimension chat group. Seeker, I'm back, brothers. Photographer, back? Did you go to the group mall? Buyao Bilion, brother Tong, we didn't lie to you, did we? Those things are really useless. Dragon King spraying water, that's right, it's all a bunch of useless stuff. I really don't understand why chat groups always have to stuff some garbage in. Don't bully young people who are poor, it can't be said to be useless. Isn't toilet paper quite useful? And it's discounted, much cheaper than the ones in the group mall. Don't bully young people who are poor, you don't know how I have been through the past 10 years. Don't bully young people who are poor, that's really too much to say. Passerby, I'm sorry. Dragon King spraying water, my condolences +1. Don't shake the lotus, oh, I didn't expect it, but I'm sorry. Cute King, my condolences. When Xiao Yan said that toilet paper was a useful thing, everyone thought of his daily life and tacitly offered him comfort. Seeker, +1. This unlucky child, is he really unlucky? But when it comes to useless, Wu Tong couldn't help but think of the group functions that were turned on, and couldn't help but want to complain. Seeker, speaking of which, before Wu Tong finished speaking, the prompt sound of the group assistant suddenly rang. Group assistant, ruined world detected, connection is being established. Group assistant, connection successful, group copy Gakun apocalypse is open. Group assistant, all group members can enter it on their own and plunder resources in order to better develop their own world. Group assistant, just go ahead and do a JPG. Seeker? Seeker, I was just about to complain about the useless group functions, but the chat group suddenly gave me a big one. Dragon King spray water, ha ha ha, got slapped in the face. Buyao Bilion, group copy? Are you interested? Let's go together? Seeker, isn't that certain? After all, it's a world of resources. Seeker, it's a pity that there is no magic technique, otherwise, how can the 7 billion zombies be upgraded? Dragon King spray water, zombies? The apocalyptic world? Good guy, Ning just wants to refine the human emperor banner, right? Dragon King spray water, but it is true. If there was a magic monk in the group, wouldn't it be a big success in the end times? Unfortunately, there is no magic monk. Photographer, let's not do that. The magic monk sounds difficult to get along with. Dragon King spray water, that's true. Chenchi Zian. From a general rational point of view, the name of this high school of the dead seems to be similar to the name of the drama posted by the group leader. Is there a corresponding script? Buyao Bilion, yes, old man. Buyao Bilion, but it should not be posted in the group. This drama is mostly watched by male compatriots. The group leader should not have watched it. Buyao Bilion, he passerby, he don't bully the poor young man, he Dragon King spray water, I am speechless, my family members. Why are the guys in the group so wretched? Dragon King spray water, you have watched it too. Did it you travel through time in 2008? Don't bully the poor young man, don't bully the poor young man, I haven't watched it. Dragon King spray water, then what are you healing about? Don't bully the poor young man, how can you not know if you haven't seen it? What else can male compatriots watch besides that? He Dragon King spraying water, group member Buyao Bilion uploaded the group file High School of the Dead. Buyao Bilion, this is the plot, everyone can take a look and learn about it in advance. Wu Tong didn't pay attention to the news in the group. He was awakened by the words of the group leader. Right. Without the magic skills, can't he refine the magic tools? If his magic tools are very strong, doesn't it mean that he is also very strong? It just so happens that I have never lacked rare resources with the core of the ruler of reason. The refining skills and heavenly creations deduced from the refining skills of various sects under one person can also refine these things. Thinking of this, Wu Tong directly ordered the intelligent brain to deduce the refining method of the human emperor banner. Intelligence brain, deduce the method of refining the human emperor banner for me now. As soon as Wu Tong finished speaking, a detailed method of refining the human emperor banner appeared in Wu Tong's mind. Human emperor banner, refining method. However, there was also a line of small words. Due to insufficient information, the human emperor banner deduced is a weakened version of the human emperor banner. It is recommended to integrate the second soul ring during refining to strengthen its soul attribute, so that it has the ability to absorb souls, thereby strengthening its own ability, so as to ensure its growth. Not bad, not bad, a good idea, adopted. There will definitely be many situations like this in the end of the world in the future. Instead of wasting it, it is better to use it to help me practice and add some strength to my 10,000 souls, cough cough, human emperor banner. Okay, wait a moment, and help me refine the human emperor banner. After Wu Tong said this, he checked the detailed refining method and prepared to start refining the human emperor banner. After checking, Wu Tong entered the group mall and bought a little of each of the precious materials. Then he used the power of the ruler of reason to analyze them. After the analysis was completed, he recorded the information in the database. After doing everything, Wu Tong sat cross-legged on the ground. With a wave of his hand, the ruler of reason exerted his power, and countless precious materials emerged, including soul steel, magic metal, fine gold, mithril, dark silver, dark iron, dark alloy, vibranium, adamantium, and countless strange metals spread all over the ground. Then, Wu Tong asked the intelligent brain to assist and mobilize the pure yang true qi in his body. A ball of condensed pure yang true qi, like a real flame, suddenly appeared in front of Wu Tong. As soon as the pure yang true fire transformed from the pure yang true qi appeared, the surrounding temperature began to soar, and the air began to make crackling sounds. Even the gold on the side showed signs of melting. Fortunately, the intelligent brain controlled the pure yang true fire in time and kept its temperature within the flame. This prevented the scene of Wu Tong's residence being burned down. Chapter 140, The 10,000 Souls Emperor Banner becomes a weapon spirit. Fortunately there is an intelligent brain, otherwise with my control, although I can control it, It will definitely cause some unrest. Seeing this scene, Wu Tong couldn't help but feel lucky. After all, his strength has increased too fast recently, and there is not enough time to control it, which has led to Wu Tong's current control over his own strength has decreased. However, this is not a big deal. Wu Tong is a master of national martial arts who has reached the highest level of national martial arts. As long as he finds time and practices a few more times, he can naturally control all his own strength with the ultimate control of the body by national martial arts. However, what he needs to care about now is not these things. After controlling the pure yang true fire, Wu Tong began to refine the human emperor banner. With a wave of his hand, all the metals lying on the ground were instantly controlled by an invisible force and floated into the air. Then, all these metals were pulled and thrown into the pure yang true fire. As soon as those metals entered, they were tempered by the pure yang true fire, burning all the impurities contained in them, and then turned into a pool of metal liquid floating in the fire. When all the metals were forged into balls of liquid of different sizes, Wu Tong began to practice the Xiangong creation technique. He was ready to start refining. Wu Tong controlled the balls of liquid metal and began to fuse them in a certain order. At the same time, Taoist talismans, secret patterns of heaven and earth, and magic vein patterns were outlined by the intelligent brain and merged into the ball of liquid metal. After all the balls of liquid metal were fused into a large metal ball, Wu Tong controlled the soul rings to emerge, and suddenly, 9 soul rings emerged from behind Wu Tong again. Wu Tong's hand passed over the first Xitigarbha Yuan that had turned into a soul ring, grabbed the second soul ring, and threw it into the pure yang true fire. In a short while, the soul ring completely merged with a metal ball. Then, after all the materials were fused into one, the metal ball formed, as if it was in harmony with the Tao, gradually evolved into a large banner. An hour later, the 100 Huang banner was completely practiced. Seeing this, Wu Tong grabbed the purple emitting human emperor banner and gently waved it. Suddenly, the purple air surrounding the banner gathered as the banner was waved, and the purple-black fog instantly enveloped it, making it look quite grand and majestic. It's done. The human emperor banner can evolve infinitely. With the increase of 7 billion zombie souls, it can at least enter the 6th level magic weapon, right? If it can really enter the 6th level, then in this world, even with the addition of the God Realm, it will be truly invincible, Wu Tong said in high spirits, and then casually released the human emperor banner. Swish, a purple-black light flashed, and a 2-headed Lolita, who is exactly the same as Jizou Yuhan, appeared at the position of the human emperor banner. Wearing a black and purple ancient-style robe, a small face was floating in the air with an expressionless face. You will be called Minghan from now on, the spirit of the 10,000 souls banner, commanding countless wronged souls for me. This name is quite appropriate. Yes, master. As if it were ice at the 2 poles, a clear and cold voice instantly rang out from Minghan's mouth. In the Dimension chat group, Chenchi Zian, from a general rational point of view, zombies are indeed somewhat unreasonable. Puyeo billion, oh, old man, don't worry about these things at this time. Don't Qi Xiaonian Kaiong, yes, let's go quickly, I can't wait. Don't Qi Xiaonian Kaiong, my Simmons bed, free toilet paper, smartphone, drinks. Don't Qi Xiaonian Kaiong, ahohahoha, I want to buy it for free. Everyone, 6 small dots are enough to express their feelings at the moment. How did this guy get through these years? Seeing Xiao Yan's news, everyone couldn't help but sweat on their foreheads. Others are thinking about how to plunder resources, but this guy is thinking about how to buy it for free. He is really different from others. Buyao Bilion, to be honest, I can't wait any longer. It's a good opportunity to test my current strength. I've been practicing and practicing all this time. Mo Qi Xiaonian Kaiong, that's not bad. Isn't it good to become stronger through practice? Buyao Bilion, the key is that the people I practiced with were those old men. They just hit me and I fell. Although they always said that I had made progress, I felt that the progress was almost non-existent. Buyao Bilion, now I'm a little unconfident. Mo Qi Xiaonian Kaiong, 6. Dragon King spraying water, okay, since you can't wait any longer, let's go. Seeker, let's go, but everyone needs to pay attention. Seeker, according to my speculation, after passing through, without the people in the group as anchor points, the crossing point may deviate. Seeker, everyone, please protect yourself. If possible, find some people to go with you. After Wu Tong came in, he saw that everyone was about to leave, and hurriedly reminded them. Wu Tong had noticed that the crossing point was always next to the group members, combined with what the group assistant said about the group members being anchor points. Wu Tong speculated that the crossing should be based on the group members as the positioning. This time, the dungeon world has no anchor point, which may cause the group members to be forced to separate after crossing. Buyao Bilion, huh? There is such a saying? Doesn't that mean that I can't hold on to the thighs? Zhang Xiulin saw Wu Tong's reminder and felt a little depressed. But he could only accept it resignedly. Don't bully the poor young man. Young people, don't always think about holding on to the thighs, and believe in yourself more. Buyao Bilion, you are the least qualified to say me, because you carry your thighs with you. Wu Tong left the chat group, turned around and turned the Nether Soul, Human Emperor banner, into a spirit ring again and put it into his body. Then, he put away the split sky seat that was acting coquettishly around him. Do you want to call others to go together? Wu Tong stood on the rooftop of the treehouse and looked at the academy below the treehouse. There, the lights were bright, and the scene was prosperous. The sound of a group of people playing could still be heard vaguely. Forget it, I'll go by myself this time. This dungeon isn't difficult, so I'll finish it sooner rather than later. Wu Tong shook his head, planning to go by himself this time. After thinking about it, Wu Tong didn't stay any longer. He called up the chat group and opened the panel of the group dungeon. Suddenly, a new page appeared in front of Wu Tong, with only a lonely vortex on it. It was written at the bottom. The group dungeon High School of the Dead. Tisk, it's really empty. Forget it, it's none of my business, and there will definitely be more in the future. It looks like everyone else is ready to leave, so I'll go with them. Chapter 141, Crossing Over, the copy of the Academy of the Dead. Wu Tong sighed, and without hesitation, his mind contacted the vortex. Suddenly, a vortex appeared above Wu Tong's head and swallowed Wu Tong into it. Only a breeze was left, quietly passing through the empty house. High school apocalypse world, it's so uncomfortable. Didn't you say that there is no feeling during the process of crossing? Yes, it feels like being flushed down the toilet. Is it because there are no tickets? No way, forget it, never mind. I feel dizzy. 0 yuan purchase, here I come. Hey, aren't we here to plunder resources? Yes, and I heard that it is a parallel world of those people who live a simple life. In this case, plundering will be even less stressful. Wu Tong only felt dizzy before his eyes, and appeared on a rooftop, and heard the voices of other people. Hearing the voice, Wu Tong turned his head and saw that, as expected, all the people in the group were on this rooftop. Of course, there were not only members of the group, but also some who were invited to calm the situation. Under one person, Old Heavenly Master, Lu Jin, Zuo Rutong, Zhang Huai. Fighting World, Ling Ying, Zio Zuner. Or a Revival World, a team of well-trained, fully armed soldiers, 20 people. Collapse World, Zio Shi, Teresa, GZ, Cheng Lixu. Star Iron World, Lao Yang, Xing, Dan Heng. Apart from these people, no one from other worlds came, only group members. It seems that my guess is wrong. We are not separated. However, where are we now? Why do I always feel that this rooftop is familiar? Wu Tong looked at the puzzled eyes of the crowd, was silent for a while, and spoke. There is nothing he can do about it. He just made a reasonable guess. Who knows if it will be wrong? Me too, this scene feels so familiar. At this moment, a voice sounded, full of confidence. Tisk, why bother so much? Just push it over, I'm not afraid of those so-called zombies. Wu Tong moved his eyes over, and Zio Shi's face appeared. Hey, Wu Tong, we meet again. Seeing Wu Tong looking at him, Zio Shi greeted Wu Tong. I just left not long ago, right? Wu Tong said helplessly. After Zio Shi's interruption, the serious intense atmosphere on the rooftop eased instantly. Haha, how can we not say this to show our relationship? Zio Shi said with a smile. Without waiting for Wu Tong to answer, Zio Shi turned his head and looked at the Xingti group. Hey, isn't this Lao Yang? I heard that you traveled through time? Now you are in another world, lawyer of knowledge. You are right, but why does the last sentence feel a little wrong? Lao Yang rolled his eyes. It was naturally a good thing to see a familiar person, but why did this guy make people feel something wrong as soon as he opened his mouth? Ahaha, that's not important. Zio Shi realized that there was something wrong with his words, and laughed, trying to get away with it. By the way, where is GZ? In the memory of the old antique, isn't there another GZ accompanying you in your world? Yes, I also want to see another me, as Zioshi asked. Wu Lian to Jizi next to him also spoke. Jizi looking at the intact Jizi in front of him, Lao Yang was in a trance. It's great that you are still alive. After coming to his senses, he said, Jizi is guarding the train. Every time the train is opened up, there will be someone left to guard the train. Besides, this opening journey is not difficult, so she didn't come with us. I thought I could discuss interstellar travel with her. That's not a problem. There will be many opportunities in the future. Now that Zio-Sanayu has this chat group, can't you come over at any time? Forget it, let's wait until the collapse is over. I also want to go and see it then. Are you welcome, Teacher Yang? Of course, you are welcome anytime. GZ, on the side, Zio Yan, who has been like-minded with Zhang Qiulin these 2 days, naturally found his good friend. However, when Zhang Qiulin saw that Zio Yan actually brought Zio Zuner with him, his sensitive heart was instantly touched. Great, Zio Yanzi, you came to a dungeon and brought your wife to abuse dogs, haha, you can find one too. Zio Yan looked at Zhang Qiulin's distorted face with jealousy, and felt secretly happy. You kid has been making fun of me these days, now you are angry, aren't you? Brother Zio Yan, won't you introduce your friends to me? Zio Zuner, who was standing aside, saw this scene, glanced at Zio Yan with a reproachful look, and then smiled apologetically at Zhang Qiulin. Ling Ying and Yao Lao, who were standing aside, would not care about the stories between these young people. Looking at this new world, he was filled with emotion. Monster, help, don't bite me, what's wrong with you, King Mujin, aren't we friends? Just as everyone was communicating harmoniously, a sudden commotion disrupted their conversation. Then, a broadcast sounded. This is the campus broadcast. Now I'm informing all the students that a violent incident is happening on campus. Please stay in the classroom as much as possible and don't go out. I repeat, please try not to go out. Seeing this, everyone stopped talking and looked down at the rooftop. It was a hellish scene below. It was a mess, a complete mess. There were screams and shrieks, and there were also horrible biting sounds. Don't come over. Don't come over. In the chaotic school, screams came from different locations from time to time. Everyone could clearly see that zombies appeared on the playground. A zombie was biting a girl who had just died. The girl's blood was all over the floor. The scene was particularly tragic. Unbelievable, is this a zombie? Well, in this world, it should be called a dead body, it's all the same. I remember, isn't this place on the rooftop at the beginning of the plot? Zhang Qiulin saw this scene and suddenly realized it. Oh, if you look at it this way, is the world without anchor points located according to the plot? Wu Tong also started to think after hearing Zhang Qiulin's words. By the way, since this is when the plot begins, doesn't that mean, Zio Yan, who had carefully watched the plot more than a dozen times, suddenly reminded Zhang Qiulin after hearing his words. After hearing Zio Yan's reminder, everyone realized one thing. Yes, there were people here when the plot began. Kimuro Takashi saw the scene where they landed might have been seen by someone. Wu Tong and others were stunned for a moment. Although it's no big deal to be discovered. After all, there is almost nothing in this world that can threaten them. But it's really embarrassing that a group of extraordinary people can't find an ordinary person peeping at such a close distance. But then again, Kimuro Takashi? Could it be because of the protagonist's halo? Thinking of this, Wu Tong couldn't help but feel a little curious. And immediately released a perception that was imprisoned around him. Suddenly, an invisible wave spread around. In an instant, the entire campus was enveloped. Chapter 142 Kimuro Takashi. Found it? Wu Tong looked at the figure that was moving quickly within his perception range. At this moment, the figure was running towards the floor below at a speed of 8 steps per step. My name is Kimuro Takashi. I am a second-year student in the high school department of Fujimi Private Academy. My life has always been perfect. I have both parents. Although I am not from a wealthy family, I have some assets. In particular, I have a very good childhood sweetheart. I always thought that Lee would be my girlfriend. But recently, I don't know why, after she suddenly failed a grade, our relationship began to deteriorate rapidly. Recently, she even broke her childhood agreement and became the girlfriend of my best friend Nagaigo, which made me feel betrayed. But what did I do? How did she suddenly become like this? Are girls so unreasonable? Alice, I was in a bad mood these days, so I skipped classes. I originally planned to go to the rooftop to relax, but I didn't expect that I would discover something incredible. The legendary supernatural event. I saw with my own eyes that such a large group of people were spit out by a vortex that suddenly appeared. Damn, what is wrong with this world? Oh my god, let's run quickly. If we are seen by this group of people, we will definitely be silenced. Thinking of this, Kamuro Takashi took advantage of the fact that no one noticed him, quickly got into the stairs, and ran towards the classroom below. How interesting, a standard Japanese male protagonist, who is useless except for being assholes. How can such a person be the protagonist? Looking at Kamuro Takashi running at high speed on the stairs, Wu Tong used his mind-reading ability to know his thoughts, and a sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth. Looking at Kamuro Takashi's fleeing figure, Wu Tong curled his lips in disdain. Run? If you can run, then I have lived in vain for so many years? Then, Wu Tong controlled the space power to start running, and a space crack opened instantly. At this time, Kamuro Takashi, who was running faster, still didn't understand why the campus began to riot. Takashi Kamuro was only busy peeking at Wu Tong and the others, and didn't notice the zombie invasion, so he didn't know there was danger below. Takashi Kamuro, who was running down desperately, didn't notice that a space crack had quietly opened up on the road ahead. Without noticing, he rushed in. This is Takashi Kamuro only felt a black and a bright light in front of his eyes, and he appeared in a familiar place. Hey, isn't this the protagonist of this world? What a rare thing. Zhang Qiulin saw Takashi Kamuro's confused look and said to Xiao Yan next to him. Tisk, protagonist? Who isn't? It's just a piece of trash, kill him quickly, why keep him? As a person who traveled through time in 2008, Xiao Yan didn't have a very good impression of the Japanese. Moreover, he learned from the plot that the male protagonist and the eldest daughter of the right-wing element were childhood sweethearts. And he was also favored by the Gao Chang couple. People who can be favored by the right-wing leader must have right-wing tendencies. Right-wing refers to politicians with hawkish political tendencies, most of whom are extreme and advocate foreign aggression. Isn't it more deserving of death? If such people are not killed, will they be kept alive for the new year? Others had no objection. Many people here have more or less relationship with Yan Huang. Wu Tong, Guru Li, Xiao Yan, Zhang Qiulin, Zhongli, Fu Hua are more or less people from the parallel world of Yan Huang. Hizai, Samyuki, Kana, Gabriel and others also expressed more or less understanding of this scene and did not stop it. Everyone in the group has read the group file sent by the group owner, which also contains the history of China's development. Naturally, they understand the hatred of Yan Huang people for these people who live a simple life. As for Kadoishi and Rimuru, these two are paper people. Moreover, they are not familiar with Kamuro Takashi, so there is no need to upset everyone for Kamuro Takashi. No, please let me go, I promise that I will never tell anyone what I just saw. Hearing Xiao Yan say that he was going to kill him, Kamuro Takashi, who could understand a little Chinese, immediately begged for mercy. After all, he is just a high school student, and he has an instinctive fear of death. Kamuro Takashi can clearly feel that the murderous intent emanating from the hearts of this group of people is definitely not a joke, and they might really kill him. What is this thing talking about? Xiao Yan pretended not to understand and asked Zhang Qiulin on the side. Zhang Qiulin immediately understood Xiao Yan's plan and smiled and said, I don't know. It seems that he should say that he will never surrender, so we have to kill him if we have the guts. 1,000 languages, the protection given by the chat group, which can make the members of the chat group proficient in all languages to facilitate communication with the natives. 2 people, we can understand, but we don't want to understand. Good boy, you are so good at cooperation. He cast an approving look at Zhang Qiulin. Xiao Yan spoke again, what, it's simply unreasonable. He dares to be so arrogant after being caught by us. As he spoke, he showed an angry look. Then fulfill his wish and send him to heaven directly. Wu Tong also spoke to cooperate with Xiao Yan's performance. Kamuro Takashi's expression became more and more terrified, and his lower body began to get wet. Fuck, I was scared to pee. Zhang Qiulin was sharp-eyed and saw Kamuro Takashi's embarrassment at a glance. Okay, stop playing, hurry up and solve it, the zombies are coming. Guru Li was a little speechless. These guys didn't even take her with them. Okay, well, there's no way to play. The 3 of them looked at each other and shrugged. Then, Wu Tong waved his hand, and 9 soul rings appeared behind him instantly. Fuck, cool. X2 I have to say that although the Soul Master system is very lame, it is really cool. The 9 halos hanging behind him made Wu Tong look like a god. Maybe, should I get one too? Maybe the martial soul will not be so weak in other worlds? Seeing this scene, a group of boys couldn't help but think. There is no way, for such a pretentious weapon, which man can resist it? Wu Tong ignored the envious and jealous eyes of others. With a thud, the first black soul ring floated in front of him, accompanied by a flash of black light. A long sword appeared in Wu Tong's hand. The 12th key of God, the key of erosion, the soul of Jizo, enhanced version. Can I use the protagonist's position in Kimuro Takashi's body, based on the connection between the protagonist's position and the world, as a stepping stone to erode the main body of the world? Wu Tong looked at Kimuro Takashi in front of him, a little curious. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 143 Erosion Plan, highly feasible. As the protagonist of the world, he will definitely be different from ordinary people. Apart from other things, he will definitely be favored by the weight of the world, and his status as a protagonist will definitely exist. Wu Tong had tried it before. Once, he took advantage of Tang Hao's absence and prepared to take action secretly to kill Tang San directly to eliminate future troubles, but he did not succeed. When Wu Tong was about to succeed, an indescribable huge sense of terror instantly swept Wu Tong's senses, making him feel that if he took action against Tang San, he would be in great trouble. It was precisely because of this that Wu Tong gave up taking action against Tang San, allowing him to live to this day. However, Tang San is no longer taken seriously by Wu Tong. Even if he became a god king, Wu Tong still has thousands of ways to easily deal with Tang San. If it weren't for being too busy during this period, Wu Tong planned to go to Tang San again to try and see if he would still have that feeling now. Back to the point, Wu Tong's plan to erode the world was not a whim. He had wanted to give it a try a long time ago. After the corrosion key was strengthened by him, Wu Tong had a hunch that if he could successfully corrode a world, the benefits he would get would be absolutely immeasurable. But there was no way. Among the 3 worlds he traveled through, the collapse world had the support of the big guys, so he couldn't beat it. The alien world was very deep, and it might have the backing of the immortal world. The Taoist tradition of the 3 pure ones and the 6 imperials was not lonely, so he couldn't beat it either. The Douluo world had world consciousness, and with his current strength, he couldn't corrode it at all. But now it was different. An ordinary, soon-to-be ruined world without extraordinary power was right in front of him. And the protagonist who was closely connected to the world was also caught by him. Isn't this a good opportunity? If he fully activated the corrosion power and the corrosion key, it should be enough to completely corrode this world, right? Thinking of this, Wu Tong's breathing became rapid. If he could really succeed, he could use this world as bait to further erode the Douluo world. Believe in the temptation of a ruined world, the world consciousness of the Douluo Continent, which had little intelligence, couldn't resist it at all. And it couldn't have imagined that this was a poison wrapped in sugar. As long as you eat it, the poison wrapped in the sugar coating will be revealed, and you will work together with yourself to erode the Douluo world. As long as you succeed, the Douluo world will be yours. Thinking of this, Wu Tong couldn't help but feel a little proud. From this point of view, he is much better than that Tang Buddha. After Tang Buddha became a god, he wanted to turn the Douluo world into the back garden of the Tang family, and he needed to come up with a long-term plan. My methods are much more clever than his, and the success rate of the plan is higher. After solving the Douluo world, I will find time to solve the God realm, and then I can let go and vigorously develop the Douluo world. Thinking of this, Wu Tong was full of excitement. After all, working for others is not as pleasant as working for yourself. What? Despicable? No, this is not despicable, it should be called the appearance of a hero. Yes, I am a man with the appearance of a hero. Wu Tong is very sure of this. Shaking his head, he retracted his thoughts. Thinking a little too far, let's see if it can be done first. If not, all plans are in vain. Thinking of this, Wu Tong also came back to his senses, looking at the crying and pissing Kimuro Takashi in front of him. There was a flash of disgust in his eyes. If there was no other way, Wu Tong really didn't want to touch this guy. Okay, you are the protagonist after all, don't be so embarrassed, it's really ugly, Let me take you directly." After that, Wu Tong held the Jizo spirit and walked in front of Kimuro Takashi. Without saying anything more, he knew that talking too much would lead to mistakes, and inserted the knife in his hand directly into Kimuro Takashi's head. Puchy, a knife penetrated. With a white brain and red blood flowing out, Kimuro Takashi's expression gradually became trance in his dying moments. "Am I going to die? Why? I didn't do anything? It's true, I am a little unwilling." But no matter how unwilling he was, he couldn't stop the coming of death. Dong, a muffled sound, Kimuro Takashi's body fell to the ground. Afterwards, Wu Tong controlled the Xitigarbho's soul and the power of erosion, and countless black mists emerged, wrapping up Kimuro Takashi. It eroded everything about him, and in a moment, Kimuro Takashi's figure turned into nothingness. "How is it? Did you intercept it, smart brain?" "Don't worry, it has been intercepted." Kimuro Takashi's protagonist status, as it said, the smart brain displayed a picture in Wu Tong's mind. In a high-dimensional perspective, a ball of light was shining in front of Wu Tong. "Great, I'll leave it to you next, smart brain." As he spoke, Wu Tong turned the Xitigarbho's soul in his hand back into a spirit ring and put it away. "Out, leave it to me and don't worry." Then, as the voice of the smart brain came out, the Xitigarbho's soul that turned into a spirit ring instantly appeared in Wu Tong's mind and turned into a longsword again. The power of erosion also mimicked into a longsword at the same time. The two long swords did not hesitate at all and directly inserted into the glimmer. The power of erosion was continuously released, eroding the protagonist's status of this world. "Master, it should take another 3 days. You can go to your thing first." After that, the intelligent brain stopped bubbling. Presumably it went back to work. Wu Tong laughed wildly in his heart. If he was only 20% sure before, he is 40% sure now. Moreover, once the Xitigarbho's soul completely erodes the protagonist's status, he will definitely be able to rapidly improve with the help of the information contained in the protagonist's status. By then, the strength in Xitigarbho's soul, coupled with the erosion power that is constantly improving with his own strength, maybe his plan will really work. Huh? It's gone so easily? Is this really the protagonist? Guruli was confused. She thought there would be some world consciousness coming with the help of the protagonist's body, and then a 300-round battle. Then what else do you want? A ruined world, without even world consciousness, only pure instinct. Plus, without any extraordinary power, it can't even resist. What else can it do when facing a bunch of third, fourth, fifth and sixth order extraordinary people like us? It can't even resist the world, let alone this so-called protagonist. His eye on the side rolled her eyes at her. Did this child use the angel gene? Why doesn't it feel smarter at all? Okay, since this world has begun to fall, let's start to act. Wu Tong, please send us to the Yanhurong territory of this world. We want to see where we want to go and help save people. By the way, seeing that Wu Tong was done, a group of people also began to get agitated. Time is running out, and they have to act quickly. Zhang Yulin walked over and said with a serious face. Behind him, there were also the passionate elderly group of the alien world, Xiao Yan and his group, and the old man's Hongli. Okay, since you have gone, I won't go. Wu Tong nodded. The world of Yanhurong is one family. If you can help, you should try your best to help. But since the old man has passed away, there is no big problem. Wu Tong believes in the sense of security brought by the old man. After that, Wu Tong summoned a dimensional portal and sent Zhang Yulin and others to the Yanhurong territory. Chapter 144, The Emperor's Banner shows its power. Purple air comes from the east. Then, Wu Tong looked at the others. What about you? Do you have any plans to go? I can do it by myself, so you don't need to take me there. Kazushi Kadoya casually summoned a dimensional curtain, holding a pink camera, and left the rooftop. Wu Tong, please take me to Europe, then I'll go to North America. I'm going to Africa. Let's go together. No, I'm going to South America. Let's go to Australia. In a moment, everyone left or dispersed. After all, everyone came to this world to obtain resources. How much resources can they get if they only gather in one place? In the end, except for the train development team, the tourist Hizai, Zio Zhi, Kana, Gabriel, and the spiritual energy recovery team with insufficient combat power, everyone else left. Wu Tong, aren't you going to start the action? Guruli looked at Wu Tong, who didn't move, and asked curiously. I don't need it. What I want, others don't need it. There's no rush. I can take it when I leave, Wu Tong shrugged indifferently. The ordinary things are available in Douluo world, and there are only two things he wants. The world and the soul. And no one is competing with him for the whole world or the more than 7 billion souls. Well, maybe Rimuru also needs some souls, but that's not a big deal. In this case, of course, there is no need to rush. Just take your time and enjoy the scenery of the Doomsday Wasteland. This is a novel experience. Others don't need it, but you need it. Guruli had a question mark on her head and looked at Wu Tong with a puzzled look. Wu Tong looked at the puzzled people and said nothing more. He waved his hand to release the soul. A purple light flashed, and a two-headed little lolly, who was transformed from a soul ring, wearing a purple-black ancient-style dress and a cold face, suddenly appeared beside Wu Tong. Floating quietly in the air, waiting for Wu Tong's order. Wow, what a cute little lolly, and a two-headed figure. Wu Tong, you are really good at playing in the two-dimensional world. You are worthy of being my best friend. Come and let your sister hug you, I want a hug too. So cute. Two-headed figure refers to an image with a body as high as the head. Generally speaking, ordinary Q version figures are standard two-headed figures. The first time they saw Minghan, everyone was attracted by the cuteness of this little guy. Small, soft, and a three no Guruli and Sanayuki couldn't help but want to hug him. But before their hands touched Minghan, Minghan turned his body first and dodged the attack of the two. After being dodged, the two looked resentful. But Minghan ignored Guruli and Sanayuki, and looked at Wu Tong with expectant eyes. Receiving Minghan's expectant eyes, Wu Tong nodded and said, okay, do it. After receiving Wu Tong's order, Minghan no longer suppressed his instincts. A small flag appeared in his hand and began to wave. As the ghost began to work, countless souls who died tragically below began to reveal their figures, surrounded by a faint black gas, and flew towards the ghost. Others only saw countless transparent souls with black gas rushing towards the small banner in the ghost's hand, and they were all shocked. Cool, Xing's eyes shone brightly, and her two big eyes stared at Wu Tong, and her eyes clearly expressed her thoughts. I want it. Ah! There's a ghost. Seeing this scene, Sanayuki screamed in shock, and the whole person was scared into an abstract painting, which looked very much like the world-famous painting The Scream. The other people also had different expressions. Lao Yang was thinking, I was interested, Gabriel was disgusted, and Kanda didn't care. The most shocked was Guruli, her eyes almost popped out. Fuck, the ghost is holding the 10,000 souls banner? Lao Wu, are you serious? Guruli didn't expect that. She just said it casually, and Wu Tong actually refined the 10,000 souls banner. Is there a time traveler who is so outrageous? Then why can't I do it myself? I am obviously a time traveler with a cheat, right? No, you are wrong. This is the human emperor banner. Look at the auspicious aura of the purple air coming from the east. Is the purple air coming from the east of your purple air purple to black? People who don't know this joke are speechless. But those who know it are full of agreement. That's it. This is definitely the pure human emperor banner. Also, there is another point that you are wrong. The one in the hands of the ghost is just a manifestation of her power source. She is the human emperor banner, and the ghost is the spirit of the human emperor banner. Wu Tong shook his finger and pointed out the mistake in Guruli's language. Hey, XN. Not only Guruli, but others were also shocked when they heard Wu Tong's words. Even Hizai, the knowledgeable Xianji king, turned his eyes over. Really? Such a cute little lolly is actually the spirit of such a ferocious magic weapon, the 10,000 souls banner? Is the contrast so strong? Shoo! A sound of breaking through the air sounded. Using the wooden sword in her hand to kill the zombies that were running towards her, Douluo Yezi looked at the zombies spreading in the distance. In addition to the pleasure of killing, she was also a little anxious. After a fierce battle, she had consumed too much physical strength, and it was definitely not a wise move to fight against the zombies. Although these zombies were not very strong, there were too many of them. She could not deal with this group of zombies by herself, not to mention that it was even more impossible with a burden. Glancing at the cute school doctor who was following her, Douluo Yezi sighed. Teacher Shizuka, follow me closely. Let's go upstairs and get rid of these corpses first. After that, Douluo Yezi took the wooden sword in her hand and walked towards the stairs not far away. Wait for the teacher, Yezi classmate. Seeing this, Miracle Shizuka hurriedly ran after her. She is dumb, not stupid. If she still can't figure out the situation now, then she has lived in vain. Just like that, The two of them ran upstairs step by step. After a while, they shook off the zombies behind them. Wait, what is this? Looking at the zombie that was killed by his sword, a black gas suddenly emerged from the body. Douluo Yezi looked solemn. This black gas seemed to be very dangerous. He immediately grasped the wooden sword in his hand and looked at the black gas nervously. Not long after, the black gas rose up, carrying an illusory figure, and flew towards the rooftop. Chapter 145, Benefits. From beginning to end, he never looked at the guarding Douluo. Is this a soul? Seeing this scene, Douluo was shocked. Is there really such a thing as a soul in this world? Although she still couldn't believe it, the fact was already in front of her, so even if she didn't believe it, she had to believe it now. Looking at the direction where the black gas was flying, Douluo began to think in her heart. Should I go up and take a look? Before Douluo finished thinking, Miracle Shizuka, who had become dazed after seeing the soul, finally came to her senses at this moment. Ah! There's a ghost. A scream sounded instantly. Douluo, who was thinking, was awakened by this voice. Hearing Miracle Shizuka's scream, he reacted instantly. Not good, don't scream, Teacher Shizuka, all the zombies are attracted by your voice, let's go quickly, now. Even if she didn't want to go up, she had to go up. Douluo smiled bitterly, but did not blame Miracle Shizuka. After all, it was understandable that a girl was afraid of ghosts. If it wasn't for her curiosity that overwhelmed her fear, she might have screamed. Hearing Douluo's voice, Miracle Shizuka, who reacted, quickly covered her mouth with her hand to prevent it from making any more noise. At the same time, she looked at Douluo with an apologetic look. Don't worry, Teacher Shizuka, it's just human nature. Let's go quickly. There are more and more zombies, besides, maybe there is a way to save us on the rooftop. Thinking of the soul with black air, Douluo said hopefully. After that, the two of them sped up again and rushed towards the rooftop. On the other side, on the rooftop, Tong and others also ended their discussion on the ghost and prepared to go downstairs. But even after ending this topic, everyone still looked shocked. The eyes looking at the ghost were full of confusion. From this point of view, what Tong said was not wrong. In this world, there is really no one who wants to snatch things from Tong. Except for Tong, no one would be willing to take in such wronged souls. Rimuru, okay, stop looking, let's go. Feeling the gazes of others, Tong said helplessly. Then he walked out. Ahem, let's go. Seeing that Tong had already left, Guruli pretended to cough and then spoke. Captain Liu, I don't need your protection. Just protect yourself and be careful not to be scratched by zombies. After saying that, he turned his head and looked at Captain Liu of the special team he brought with him. Yes, Minister Gu. Hearing Guruli's instructions, Captain Liu immediately raised his head and chest and saluted with a standard military salute. Okay, don't be so serious at this time. You can do your best. I don't know any command skills. Yes, Minister Gu. After saluting again, Captain Liu began to arrange the tasks for the team members. The team also knew that they had to act according to their training. They quickly responded according to their abilities. They found their positions, held their guns, and watched their surroundings with caution. However, they soon discovered that they had no chance to deal with the zombies. In the process of advancing, the zombies that rushed towards them were killed by the ghosts summoned by the ghost before they got close to 500 meters. The ghosts passed through the body directly and extracted the souls that supported the body's movements. Without the drive of the soul, the decayed body collapsed like mud. Just like a house with a damaged load-bearing wall. The extracted souls were collected by the human Emperor banner and transformed. When they were released again, they had become Tong's subordinates. In this way, the ghosts in the ghost body began to roll bigger and bigger like a snowball. In the end, they even spread to farther direction and slowly spread to the whole world. Damn, the undead disaster. Looking at this snowball-like development model of more and more deaths, Guruli complained, but her eyes were full of envy. If there is such a thing, yes, this is the development mode of the undead disaster, but if we are serious, it should be called the ghost disaster. Tong heard Guruli's words, turned his head and responded with a smile. The result was naturally as expected, and he saw the envy in Guruli's eyes. Want it? Yeah, XN, nod madly JPG, not only Guruli, but everyone else also nodded madly. Although it looks scary, the combat power is really exaggerated. The attack of the wronged soul is directly attacking the soul, just like the real damage in the game. No matter how thick your armor is, if you don't have the ability to resist the attack of the soul, you will definitely not be able to resist the attack of the wronged soul, and you will definitely not be able to do anything with the wronged soul. Moreover, the way to obtain the wronged soul is also very simple. As long as there is a living being dead, a wronged soul will be generated. From this point of view, this kind of Runhuang banner is definitely a weapon for exploding troops. Not to mention that the Runhuang banner also has the advantage of fully automatic operation, so you don't have to worry about it yourself. How considerate. Moreover, this kind of wronged soul is only the lowest level. In the human emperor banner, the level and strength of the wronged soul can be increased by devouring each other. In this way, after the selection of raising goo, if there are enough souls to feed, maybe a real ghost can be cultivated. Who would not want this kind of treasure except for the righteous people? Sure, Wu Tong saw the eager eyes of the crowd and nodded with a smile on his lips. Then, a glimmer of light emerged from his hand. It floated towards the crowd. In the process of floating, 1 became 2, 2 became 4, and 4 became 8. In a short while, it successfully transformed into a number that everyone could have. After these glimmers found their respective targets, they began to hit their heads. Seeing this, everyone did not dodge. After all, members of the chat group could not attack each other, and after so long, they all understood Wu Tong's character. Although Wu Tong looks particularly friendly, likes to be lazy, and has no motivation, but fundamentally, he is a proud person. Every step he takes is carefully considered before he will go out. Such people will never give up their long-term future for the sake of momentary interests. As expected, this glimmer of light was not dangerous. And as the glimmer of light sank, streams of information appeared in everyone's mind. It was the method of refining the human emperor banner. Chapter 146, Free is the most expensive, an ambiguous path. The information contained in the glimmer is nothing but a method of refining the emperor's banner. This huge stream of information was easily delivered to everyone by Wu Tong through the consciousness power of the Herrscher of Knowledge. I have to say that if I had the power of the Herrscher of Knowledge when I was taking the college entrance examination, I would definitely not be so miserable. Suddenly thinking of the devilish practice life when preparing for the college entrance examination, Wu Tong felt a little toothache. The information contained in the glimmer that Wu Tong handed over to everyone was extremely comprehensive. Not only the unique refining techniques, the required technology, materials, and even the time required for each step of the refining process were clearly listed by Wu Tong. If the conditions are met, I believe that even a child who has never learned to refine a weapon can successfully refine an emperor's banner with this information. Tisk, useless, I don't need this, I can do it easily anytime I want. You know, I'm the great lady Herrscher of Knowledge. But thank you anyway. Wow, boss, you're very generous. Thank you, boss. Interesting, souls can actually be collected in this way. It really deserves to be the knowledge of metaphysics. There is so much unknown knowledge in this world. It seems that I still need to learn a lot. I really want to have a human emperor banner soon. By the way, Uncle Yang, I remember you are the Herrscher of Reason, right? Can you see if you can rub out the materials? Zing. Not to mention that my Herrscher core has been given to my successor, and even if I am still the Herrscher of Reason, I can't make things that I haven't seen and can't understand. Okay, magic weapon? It's okay, although it looks evil, but those secret patterns and talismans are very useful. Hey, this is a confinement talisman, which restricts the flow of energy in the body, and also restricts the body, prohibits the flow of energy, and limits the power of attacks. Hey, God really helps me, my dear elder sister. If this happens, you can't catch me back. Looking at the noisy and chaotic scene in front of him, Wu Tong also had a smile on his lips. Trivia, everyone should know one thing, that is, free is the most expensive, right? And as the saying goes, the debt of favor is the hardest to repay. At this moment, in a classroom near the 3rd floor, you can reach the top floor. Douluo Yazi is getting rid of the last zombie in this classroom. Teacher, hold on for a while, we will be there soon. Douluo Yazi forced his tired body and exhausted spirit, holding a wooden sword and smashing the head of a zombie that pounced on him. Miraculous Shizuka also moved some tables and chairs and blocked the front and back doors of the classroom. After doing everything, Douluo Yazi sat on a table and said to Miraculous Shizuka, who was also panting. Seeing this, he looked at Miraculous Shizuka with sympathetic eyes. As the saying goes, big and big are good, but at the same time, Big also has big troubles. It's inconvenient for me to exercise on weekdays. I don't know how Shizuka-sensei lives when she's that big. Does she have those troubles? After taking a rest, her tense nerves relaxed. Douluo-sensei looked at miraculous-sensei, and many strange thoughts popped up in her head. Well, I'm so tired, classmate, how long will it take us to get there? Miraculous-sensei felt the fatigue coming from her body and the two heavy burdens on her chest, and suddenly she felt like giving up. It's almost there, about 2 more floors, the awakened Douluo-sensei replied gently, and at the same time kneaded her muscles with her hands, massaging herself for a while to relieve muscle pressure and let her body recover quickly. Teacher Shizuka, let's take a break next. According to the direction of the soul's movement, that thing seems to have come down. Let's wait here for a while. Suddenly, looking at the direction where the black air kept moving, Douluo-sensei said with some surprise. In this way, there is no need to climb those 2 floors, just a good time to rest. Miraculous Shizuka naturally had no objection. If she hadn't been supported by a willpower not to die, she would have collapsed to the ground at this moment. After all, along the way, in addition to climbing the stairs, she also had to deal with zombies. So what made the two so tired was not only the physical exhaustion, but also the tension brought by the high tension of the mind. After resting for a while, Douluo saw that the direction of the black gas had changed from upward to forward. She knew that the thing had arrived, and immediately prepared to set off again, rushing towards the direction of the black gas. Let's go, Shizuka teacher, we're about to find it. I hope our luck is good enough and there won't be any monsters or something like that. Douluo smiled reluctantly. She was about to approach the turning point of her fate, and she was also very nervous now. After all, extracting the soul is not something that a righteous person would do. If they are lucky, the two can be saved, but if they are unlucky, the actions of the two will undoubtedly be a trap for themselves. However, the two of them have no other way out. Behind them are countless corpses, and in front of them is an unknown abyss of life and death. If they were allowed to choose, they would definitely continue to move forward. After all, if they move forward, there is still a glimmer of hope. If they retreat, they will only die. Well, classmate Yezi, thank you for taking care of us all the way. If it weren't for me, we might not have to come here to gamble our luck. If there is really danger later, just leave directly. Teacher believes that without me holding you back, you should be able to save your life. Looking at Miraculous Shizuka, who looked like she was giving her last words, Dokujima Yezi couldn't help but feel a little funny. Teacher, you think too highly of me. If there is really danger later, let alone me now, even if I was 100 times stronger in my prime, I would not be able to escape from here. Dokujima Yezi knew clearly that if there was really danger, how terrible a monster that could control souls would be. How could an ordinary person like me resist such extraordinary power? However, she did not say it out loud to destroy the courage that Miraculous Shizuka had finally mustered. Instead, he changed the subject and said, okay, let's not say these discouraging words for now. Maybe we can really be saved? Let's go, Teacher Shizuka. After that, he quickly walked to the door of the classroom, moved the tables and chairs used to block the door, and returned to the battle state. Seeing this scene, Miraculous Shizuka was also very nervous, but her pace was not slow, and she quickly followed. Chapter 147, The Herisher of Knowledge is defeated by the attack. These two are really good. They actually have such courage. Tisk. Wu-Tong looked at the two people, Dokujima Yako and Miraculous Shizuka, who were running towards him and others within the range of perception, and was somewhat surprised. This kind of courage to move forward and live against death without knowing whether the front is safe is indeed worthy of praise. In order to express his reward for the brave, Wu-Tong decided to take these two people away. After all, these two people are also members of the protagonist group. They all have strong luck. As long as there is an opportunity, they may not be unable to soar to the sky. Wu-Tong believes that with their qualifications, if they awaken their martial spirits, they may be able to awaken top-level martial spirits. In this way, he will have 2 more pillars under his command in the future. That's right, this is a reward for the brave, and it is definitely not for their bodies. As for the problem of the Soul Master system being too weak, that is not a problem. Wu-Tong has long deduced a way to improve it through the intelligent brain, and there is more than one way. In other words, Wu-Tong now controls the power that is enough to subvert the Soul Master system. It's just that due to time constraints, there has been no time to implement it. Of course, if it really doesn't work, in addition to the Soul Master system, Wu Tong also controls other extraordinary powers, and there is always one that can suit them. However, when it comes to the Soul Master system, when school starts, those children should be shocked. Haha, thinking of that scene, Wu Tong is also looking forward to it. This is a rare view. Just when Wu Tong was imagining that scene, the escape duo had already approached Wu Tong's team. The ghost soul that received Wu Tong's will also controlled the wrong souls not to attack the two people, allowing them to break into the domain of the ghost soul. Others naturally discovered it, but since Wu Tong didn't say anything, they naturally didn't stop it. After the two entered the range surrounded by black air, they found that no zombies could rush into this range. Because all the zombies that rushed over had their souls extracted in front of them. The body was completely dead, and the soul became a member of this domain, and began to fight other zombies with fangs and claws. It looks like a supernatural version of the zombie crisis. Seeing this, Douluo Yezi calmed down. Now that it has come to this point, there is no way to regret it. She can only move forward. Fortunately, without the threat of zombies, she no longer needs to be vigilant around. Student Yezi, it's so scary here. Miracle Shizuka looked at the souls wrapped in black air floating around, and the whole person was like a quail, hiding behind Douluo Yezi and trembling. Teacher Shizuka, don't be afraid, take a good look, these souls will not attack us. Looking at Miracle Shizuka's tearful look, Douluo Yezi sometimes really couldn't figure out who was the teacher and who was the student between the two of them. Was the role reversed? Really? Hearing what Douluo Yezi said, Miracle Shizuka carefully poked her head out from behind Douluo Yezi. Seeing that the wrong souls around really ignored them, she felt relieved, patted the two big thunders on her chest, and breathed a sigh of relief. The huge movement led to the ups and downs of the ripples. The two big thunders were slapped by their master and began to jump. The violent fluctuations attracted everyone's attention. Damn, don't stop me, I want to teach her a lesson. On the side, the people who originally planned to watch the two people make a fool of themselves all had different expressions when they saw this scene. Especially Xiaozi, who was broken by the unintentional action of Miracle Shizuka, was struggling desperately to break free from Wu Tong's restraints. Go out and educate these two guys. That's right, too. Whether it is Douluo Yezi or Miracle Shizuka, they have two behemoths. In Xiaozi's view, these two guys are here to mess with his mentality. Why are they so big? Don't you know that it will hit others? Okay, Xiaozi, don't make trouble, these two are the people I like. Wu Tong put his hand on Xiaozi's shoulder to prevent her from rushing out, and made his attitude clear. At the same time, as soon as Wu Tong said this, he immediately ushered in the strange eyes of everyone. Seeing this, Wu Tong was stunned, because he clearly felt a meaning in these eyes. You are greedy for their bodies, you are cheap. I am not, I didn't, don't talk nonsense, you. I just intend to recruit talents, how come you say I am greedy for their bodies? Thinking of this, Wu Tong couldn't help but look at the two people. It seems, probably, should be, maybe it is indeed a little bit. Well, I am greedy for their bodies, I am honest, I deserve praise. In this way, everyone watched Wu Tong's face change like an atmosphere light, from the initial disbelief, to slowly thinking, and finally to facing each other calmly. Well, this joke is on, how come it becomes true? Thinking of this, several people looked at each other, and they all saw the helplessness and bitterness in each other's eyes. Unexpectedly, before these few people succeeded, they were about to be sneaked away by the thieving cat. Who are you? Danger. The surging danger warning, like a tide, attacked them the moment this group of people appeared. Seeing Wu Tong and his group suddenly appearing in front of her, Douluo immediately became alert. Although she didn't know who these people were, the sense of danger coming from them made her hair stand on end. Douluo was very sure that every one of these people could easily kill her. Especially the leading man and the flat-chested gray-haired girl, the momentum they exuded made her tremble with fear. The others restrained their momentum. Douluo couldn't tell, but she could only feel that this group of people was very strong. Xiaoshi was completely broken by these two people, and she planned to teach them a little lesson. Wu Tong was showing his strength because he planned to accept two people. Therefore, Douluo felt the greatest pressure from Xiaoshi and Wu Tong. Me? I am your savior, and this black energy field is mine, Wu Tong explained with a smile. Douluo was stunned when he heard Wu Tong's words, then his eyes swept around and finally fell on the ghost sitting on Wu Tong's shoulder. After seeing the black mist surrounding the ghost, She finally chose to believe him. But savior? In that case, the two of them were really saved? That would be great. Chapter 148, Subdue the Survival Duo, Godly Soldiers Descend from the Sky. Huh? Thinking of this, Douluo Yezi breathed a sigh of relief, and immediately let go of his tense nerves. An irrepressible sense of excitement also emerged in his heart. This is the ups and downs after risking his life. It seems that his bet was right. Coming here, there is indeed a glimmer of hope. After relaxing his mind, Douluo Yezi also began to carefully look at the man in front of him who claimed to be his savior. But he never thought that he would fall in love with him after just one look. His figure is handsome, like a bamboo, and his black hair is like satin, but it is tied up in a formal way, only tied up with a green belt casually. The slanted handsome sword eyebrows, the slender and sharp black eyes, the thin and lightly pursed lips, and the sharp and angular outline like a knife and an axe, like a perfect man created by nature. The black windbreaker is draped over his body, and the hem of his skirt moves with the wind, adding a sense of arrogance and domineering to his momentum. The whole person is like a god who is independent of the world, handsome, noble and mysterious. Well, my lifesaver. What a handsome guy who said what I was thinking. Douluo turned his head towards the place where the voice came from and found that miraculous Shizuka was staring at Wu-Tong with a crazy look. Well, it is indeed something you can do. Douluo did not deny miraculous Shizuka's statement. Although she did not care much about appearance, she was inevitably immersed in Wu-Tong's beauty just now. It can be seen how lethal this face is to women. And it seems that he is not only very powerful, but also looks decisive in killing. He should not care about my flaws, right? If so, Douluo thought about it, and a blush appeared on his face. Seeing the two women, how could Wu-Tong not understand what happened? Wu-Tong did not expect that his aura as a lifesaver, strong strength and peerless appearance. He actually conquered Douluo and miraculous Shizuka. This made him feel a little emotional. Although the hero saving the beauty is cliché, it is still very effective. Isn't this the case? Sure enough, if the hero saves the beauty, any handsome man will definitely be rewarded by a beautiful woman. The ancients were honest with me, right? So, two ladies, what are your plans for the future? After knowing this, Wu-Tong suppressed his emotions and asked the two people. No, let's take it one step at a time. The two looked at each other and saw the confusion in each other's eyes. Finally, it was Douluo Yezi who spoke. Douluo Yezi's mother died early, and her father also went to other cities before the end of the world. He could not be contacted by phone. It is very likely that he encountered an accident, so she had no relatives and had no plans for the next trip. The same is true for miraculous Shizuka. Her only good friend Minami Rika is not around, and coupled with her own confused personality, she has no plans for the next thing. Since you have no plans, will you come with us? Sure enough, it was similar to what I guessed. In this way, the success rate of the rescue plan was greatly improved. While thinking, Wu-Tong stretched out his hand to the two women. The two women looked at each other and said, okay, then I'll trouble you for the next journey. The plan was completed. Wu-Tong's current harvest, one protagonist status in the world that is being eroded, and two more harems, on the other side, in the Yanhuang territory. H City, no. 1 Yuang Middle School. Brother Chulan, Brother Xiaoyan, thank you very much this time. If it weren't for your help, maybe our entire school would have been killed by this monster. I don't know how this monster appeared. There was no sign at all. By the time we realized it, it was too late. Thank you very much. A middle-aged man in a suit tightly grasped Zhang Chulan's hand to express his gratitude. The originally neat suit was a little messy at this moment, stained with a lot of blood, and looked a little embarrassed. This person is the dean of the school. He was originally in the school, educating some disobedient students. But he never thought that the end of the world would come so suddenly. After witnessing his students change from normal to bloodthirsty and violent monsters who kill people like crazy, the dean of the school suppressed his panic and anxiety and led the school teachers to organize a group of teachers to protect the survivors and fight against the zombies. It must be said that when Zhang Chulan and others learned about this, they also admired the dean of the school very much. This is definitely a teacher with real teacher ethics. If there were no accidents, the team organized by the dean of the school would be enough for them to support. But as expected, the accident happened, because there were too many students to be supervised. Therefore, the inspection of students was not so strict. The dean of the school did not expect that there would be people who would take the chance and hide the fact that they were scratched by zombies. With the emergence of this situation, what would be the result? Naturally, it is conceivable. What happened later was not unexpected. A zombie suddenly appeared in the crowd, and the result was naturally self-evident. In this way, the dean and his group felt even more depressed. They had to deal with the zombies invading from outside while solving the crisis in the rear. Gradually, the team had fewer and fewer people. Just when everyone was ready to give up in despair, a group of heroes appeared out of thin air and easily helped them solve their predicament with a force that could crush withered trees and rotten wood. The dean still remembers the group of figures who were like gods and immortals. The old man in a white-haired Taoist robe with golden light all over his body. The golden light turned into countless golden threads, and he easily cut off the heads of countless zombies with his swing. The young man in white clothes and white hair was like an immortal, and his every move showed the spirit of a strong man. The pale white energy surrounded his body, like an immortal. The old man in a suit carved talismans in the air with one hand, and began to sprinkle them without money. Thunder and fire from the sky and the earth poured out, and countless zombies died. At the same time, there was a girl controlling the golden flame, like the god of fire descending to the world, waving endless flames and burning the world. The young man holding the giant ruler showed his great strength in every move. Countless zombies were swept by his ruler and turned into a pool of mud. Especially looking at the school transformed into a survivor's base surrounded by a huge rock wall. And the rock guns in the back were accurately inserted into each zombie. Chapter 149, A Broken World, A Tragic Struggle for Survival. The dean of teaching couldn't help but admire the figure that was as heavy and majestic as a rock. If he was an atheist before, he has changed now. He has become one of the most loyal fans of Emperor Yan. Regarding this situation, Zhang Qiulin and others can only say that he is really worthy of being the emperor. Wherever he goes, he can attract a large number of emperor fans with his own charm. At this time, Xiao Yan and others stayed in the school to protect the group of survivors. A group of old men left the school and scattered all over H City to look for survivors. Alice, although it was expected a long time ago, it's really too tragic. There are only a few thousand people surviving in such a large area. Looking at the group of survivors he saved, the old master looked a little gloomy. In any case, these people are also Yanhuan people with black hair, black eyes and yellow skin. As the saying goes, different mountains and rivers, the same wind and moon. But now this group of compatriots have suffered such a disaster, which makes the old master feel sad. Forget it. After all, this is a country that prohibits the circulation of dangerous goods. It's okay to have these people left, the old Taoist priest said it well. As a country that prohibits the circulation of dangerous goods, the people of Yanhuan country actually don't have much resistance to sudden dangers. If it is an ordinary crisis, it's fine. Maybe they can resist it. For those creatures, punching, kicking, biting, and clawing are all effective. But facing this kind of infectious zombies, there is no way to resist. After all, zombies have no sense of pain and are fearless. And the Yanhuan people are not like people in other countries. They carry weapons and guns with them when they go out. Therefore, when facing zombies, most people can only run away, but no matter how fast they can run, how can they run faster than those tireless zombies? Therefore, it is only a matter of time before they are caught up. In this case, it is already very remarkable that the old Taoist priest can save thousands of people. For this situation, everyone actually expected it a long time ago, but when they really saw this tragedy, the sentimentality in their heart still made the old Taoist priest feel a little depressed. But now is not the time to be depressed. Then, the old Taoist priest, who had recovered a bit, prepared to take the rescued people back to the school and settle the rescued survivors. So, a large convoy drove towards the school shelter under the protection of the old Taoist priest. Along the way, all the zombies encountered by the convoy were completely transformed into corpses that could no longer move under the effect of the golden light spell thread of the old Taoist priest, which was like a golden sword. As the journey got closer, it was inevitable to meet old acquaintances. Seeing Lu Jin coming towards him, the old Taoist priest's depressed mood also improved a little. Hey, old Lu. Are these people the survivors on your side? After seeing the team led by Lu Jin coming towards him, the old Taoist priest greeted him. At the same time, his eyes moved to the back of Lu Jin. This look made his eyes condense. Because, behind Lu Jin, there were only a few hundred people following. Well, There was a medium-sized zombie tied over there, and those people didn't have many weapons to resist. When I arrived, it was too late, and I only saved this group of survivors. Lu Jin's eyes were also a little dim. Although he was an older generation who had experienced the anti-Japanese war, he had long since let go of death. But the tragic scene just now still cast a little haze on Lu Jin's heart. At the same time, Lu Jin also secretly hated himself. If he had gone earlier, could he have saved more survivors? The old Taoist priest could naturally see what Lu Jin was thinking. Although he felt uncomfortable, he still spoke to comfort this old friend who liked to nitpick. Okay, old Lu, you're not a god. How can you do everything? Why are you so entangled? Didn't you save these people? That's already good. It's not your fault, so don't add pressure to yourself. If you are really angry, go find zombies to vent. Besides, didn't we expect this kind of scene a long time ago? As soon as the old Taoist priest opened his mouth, he directly attacked Lu Jin, his tone full of regret. This old Lu is good in every way, but he is prone to getting stuck in a dead end. It's obviously not his fault, but he always has to find something to make himself unhappy. After being scolded by the old Taoist priest, Lu Jin also got out of his dead end. I know, I just feel uncomfortable. Lu Jin came to his senses and said hesitantly. Do you think you are the only one who feels uncomfortable, and others are not uncomfortable? The old Taoist priest was relieved to see Lu Jin come to his senses. Okay, let's settle these survivors first. Maybe there are others somewhere else. Yeah. After a long silence, the two old men led the combined people to the survivor base rebuilt in the school. Soon, the team rushed to the school after spending more than 2 hours. After settling the survivors, the two old men asked someone and came to their residence. Hey, Chulan, where is Senior Zhongli? Why don't I see him? After entering the residence, the old Taoist priest looked around and found that there was no one else here except Zhang Qiulin and the group of young people. The old Taoist priest naturally knew the whereabouts of Zuo Rutuang and Zhang Huai, but why was Zhongli gone too? The old Taoist priest, who was puzzled by this, asked Zhang Qiulin, who was standing aside. Oh. Master, you mean old man Zhongli? He went to other cities. After all, we don't have a way to travel quickly, and we don't have a way to support other cities. Zhang Qiulin paused here, and then continued. He saw that there was no big problem here, and after fixing a rock wall, he left. I see, that's not bad. After listening to Zhang Qiulin's words, the old master also sighed. And at this moment, where's Zhongli, who is being discussed by everyone? He is now in another city. In the Anhuang territory, another area, high above S city. Zhongli was wearing the clothes he usually wore as a guest of the Wangsheng Hall, watching everything happening below. The golden pupils reflected the dead city at the moment. The once prosperous and bustling city below is now like a dead cemetery, filled with the breath of ruin and destruction. Chapter 150 The weight of rocks brings peace. On both sides of the street, the buildings were in ruins, and broken glass and rubble were scattered all over the ground, like a battlefield after a war, silently telling the past glory and the present desolation. In the air, a depressing and heavy atmosphere spread, as if even breathing became difficult. In the gray sky, Zhongli floated there quietly, and occasionally a few crows flew by, making a shrill cry, adding a sense of doomsday. On the streets, zombies wandered around. Their tattered clothes were full of broken meat and blood, and their empty eyes revealed endless hunger and desire. They made low roars, echoing in this dead city, making people shudder. And the remaining survivors could only abandon the glory of the past and hide in the dilapidated buildings. Their eyes were full of fear and despair. Once again, I saw this scene with my own eyes. Even Zhongli, a god with 6,000 years of experience, couldn't help but feel sad for this civilization that suffered an unexpected disaster. At this moment, Zhongli's eyes were full of pity and anger towards zombies. After all, when he saw this country, he saw a group of people who had the same language, culture and appearance as his own people in Liu. He always inadvertently substituted the appearance of Liu into it. After all, Tivat is also on the tree of imaginary numbers. Since there are zombie-like creatures such as the dead in the collapsed world, how can we guarantee that Tivat will not appear? Whenever he thought that Liu might become like this in the future, Zhongli felt a sharp pain in his heart. It was a kind of hatred for the loss of precious things, but he felt powerless. Thinking of this, Zhongli could no longer suppress his emotions. Looking at the zombies below, his eyes were full of indifference. Evil and weird, death. In a thought, Zhongli's clothes quietly transformed into the divine clothes he wore during the war between demons and gods. In a flash of thought, the authority of rock, which had been unattended in this world, instantly fell into Zhongli's hands and was taken over and controlled by Zhongli. As Zhongli took control of the authority, the world was shaken, and the gods came to the world. The divine majesty of the rock demon god once again swept the world, and the heavy pressure like a mountain announced the arrival of the gods to the world. The golden rock attribute divine ring slowly rose from behind Zhongli. It emitted a golden light, but this light was not a blazing sun and flames, but gave people a sense of sacredness that was as tolerant and heavy as the earth. The white divine outfit moved without wind. Zhongli's head was covered with a hood at some point, covering half of his face, making it impossible to see his expression clearly. This scene is like the golden diamond-shaped pupils under the hood stared at the land below, and Zhongli's expression was full of memories. The scene in front of him was so similar to the time when Liu was not yet established. At that time, war, ruin, chaos, panic and chaos were everywhere in the world. The negative emotions of countless creatures swept across the world, causing the entire world to fall into panic. Looking at this familiar scene, Zhongli couldn't help but recall the demon god war of the past, remembering his original intention, and also remembering the responsibility of stabilizing the troubled times. In this world, evil spirits and disasters are rising. Although I am alone and weak, I also know the suffering of the people. I only wish to cleanse the four directions and protect a corner of the world. The magnetic voice, with a strong divinity, poured out his great wish in his heart. Zhongli's eyes became firm again, and what was contained in them was the unique vigor and decisiveness of the martial god from 6,000 years ago. At this moment, the Rock King Emperor of Liu came to this world. One of the victors of the demon god war, the oldest demon god, the Lord of Liu, the rock demon god Morex, has returned again. It is time for the might of the rock god to sweep across the world again. Rock rain. Zhongli raised his right hand gently. The power of rock between heaven and earth was instantly mobilized, and countless rock cones condensed from mid-air. They were densely packed, covering the sky and the sun, endless. It was dark and dense, like a black curtain covering the sky, covering the entire sky. Dark clouds pressed down on the city and threatened to destroy it. Endless rock cones covered the sky, adding a twilight to the apocalyptic scene below. Under the dim sky, even the air seemed to be stagnant, as if the gods were about to destroy the world. Zhongli stared at the bottom, without a single wave of emotion in his heart. This kind of battle was not difficult for him at all. For Zhongli, he didn't even need to use his divine power to bring down the sky. He only needed to invoke the power of rock and create rock cones that were enough to deal with all the evil spirits, zombies. Admittedly, these rock cones were not enough to tickle other demons in the previous War of Demons. However, this was not a war of demons. In the War of Demons, those demons with terrifying strength needed to be suppressed, so Zhongli needed to use the rock spear and the star. But now, his opponents are just some slow-moving, unintelligent beasts, who have no way to resist the blow from the sky. You should know that the kinetic energy carried by a stone falling from the sky is enough to smash a person's head, not to mention the sharper rock spikes. Therefore, for Zhongli, he only needs to move his fingers lightly to easily solve the difficulties of this city. Immortal art, precise detection. As the ancestor of all immortals, Morex's immortal art cultivation can be said to be the pinnacle among all immortals. Whether it is the exterior scene, the cauldron, the talisman, or some side immortal arts, it is beyond the reach of all immortals. For example, the immortal art that Zhongli is using now is the immortal art he created in the war between the demons and gods in order to clear the miscellaneous soldiers and avoid his own forces. It can directly detect the entire battlefield covered by divine power. Distinguish between the enemy and us, and then Zhongli will make precise strikes. In this way, after solving the miscellaneous soldiers, Zhongli can adjust to his state faster and prepare for the battle with the demons. As the detection magic fed back the situation of the entire city to Zhongli's mind, Zhongli instantly understood the situation of the entire city. With a slight flick of his finger, some of the countless rock cones silently turned and adjusted their directions. When everything was ready, Zhongli immediately waved his hand down. Suddenly, countless rock cones fell like raindrops. They accurately hit every zombie. The heads of those zombies were like watermelons that were blown up. And they were split into 4 pieces. Even some zombies in the buildings were pierced directly from the bottom to the top by the sudden spikes, and there was no sound. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.